What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the virtual mobile. Listen here, we are not in our regular place today, virtual sanctuary of the St. James Show. I am your host. I'm the prelate of the Carnal Church sector around these parts. I am him, St. James. Will you do me a great big favor, everybody? As I always ask you, make sure you're a subscriber of the St. James Show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you for watching as always, but hit that like button also on this video. Turn on your notifications by clicking the bell. Make sure it says all for all notifications. Do share on all your social media apps for me tonight. I would appreciate it. And you can become an exclusive member of our Patreon and of our YouTube membership throughout the night. If you would like to support the program, $ the St. James Show, $ the St. James Show, and also scrolling down at the bottom, there's different ways to support the program. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday. Happy November 1st. It is November 1st, and we are happy. We are almost out of this year. This year has just flew by us. Imagine that. But we are, I think we're feeling good, right? Our birthdays, any anniversaries for the month of November, please put them in the chat. We would love to wish you a happy birthday and also a happy anniversary. What's up? It is Saturday. It is Saturday. Yes, it is. Listen, earlier today, I thought it was Sunday. I was tripping out. But Nicole, what's up? What's up, Frank? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Frank is in the building tonight. Tarsha Global, wonderful to see you, pretty lady. Our Brooklyn queen over there. And Pat Smith, good to see you as well. What's up, JP? Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a member for sure. Who else is in the building? General Davis, thank you for being a member as well. Gospel Sellers, turn the volume up. Maybe turn the volume up on your side, baby. Turn the volume up, I believe, on your side. Is everybody else's volume okay? I don't have my mic with me. I am not in the, let me take this out. I am not at my home, so I am still into Seattle. Are you ready for the class? Come on now. Let's get ready. Yeah. What's up, gospel music? Buzz, good to see you, man. Glad to see you in the chat tonight. Yeah, I am in Seattle. That is a Seattle view from my room. They're probably all looking up in my room. They probably got binoculars. We got some pervs probably got binoculars back there. Kitten Hills is in the building. Prayer Era V. Baker, thank you for being a member. Angie, Sean Nathan, thank you all for coming through on tonight. And let me see, did we have any birthdays and stuff? The rhyme is fine. Thank you. I thought so. Oh, thank you, Carlin. Yeah, I think I got this shirt in Sweden, either Sweden or in Amsterdam. One of them, I got this shirt. I can't remember. Thank you, Tashi. Appreciate you. Now, y'all watch that. People come in the chat and like to you kind of disrupt like that. Sometimes they have to go. Sometimes they have to go on timeout. But we'll let it go. We'll let it go for now. What's up, Ever? Good to see you. Messy as always. I see. Let's see here. CC is in the building. Desiree, good to see you as well. Listen, anyway, we are here tonight. We're having a great time tonight. We're going to have a great guest, and he is a great friend of the show, great prophet of the world. I tell you, comes from a wonderful family. Before we get there, but make sure, everybody, we are falling back on tonight, all right? Usually our phones and things kind of update themselves, but all of you who are still on those digital stuff or stuff that doesn't fall back for you, make sure that you are moving backwards. You're going to gain an hour. Isn't that good? So that's a wonderful thing. So that is going on tonight. So do not forget. All right. So listen, we're going to get right into it. We don't want to keep our guests here all night long, all night. So we're going to bring them on in just a minute, just about a minute or so. All right. Hold on. And mods, would you do me a great big favor as you're seeing things in the chat, such as that, the commercial with Prophet Manasseh's information? I want you to put it in the chat throughout the night. Will you do me a great big favor and do that? These nuggets that you hear throughout the night, I want you to put it in the chat for me, all right? Not only the viewers, but my mods, if you can do me that great big favor, all right? So I'm gonna be looking tonight. I maybe need some additional mods. So y'all can do that as well. Put it in the chat as you're listening, as you're looking, as you're getting some good nuggets. Do that tonight. One more thing before we bring the prophet on. All right. Prophet.
Saint James, the real saint.
Maybe not so much, but today. Welcome again, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have you over here in this side of the world.
Excited, yes.
How was your weekend going so far?
It has been so good. It's been really, really good. I forgot that it was Halloween, and so after I got done teaching, I went out and one of my vintage cars, and I saw all of these people running out half naked.
Yeah, well, that's the new Halloween.
I did not know. I did not realize this was Halloween. So I'm on the phone, talking to one of my staff members, and I'm like, "What is going on?" Everyone is half naked. I mean, there were people running around in underwears.
Yeah.
They looked at my car and they thought it was part of a Halloween thing. So I had people were taking photos and things. So anyway, a trip that was supposed to be 10 minutes took me 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I got literally like 40, 50 kids coming around my car and doing all types of stuff and taking.
And did they want to take pictures as well and all that?
And they thought that I was some Halloween character. So that was my Halloween.
Wow. Yeah, and a lot of people were like mimicking the whole what's his name? I forget, when he was running around half naked down in LA recently. I forget the guy's name. Man, I don't know why I forget his name. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know. But a lot of people were doing that too, and he just had draws and
oh my God,
boots on. So yeah. So
I know. I did not realize that Halloween is like a big thing like
Nas X. That's what it was. Nas X. Yeah.
Nas X. Oh God.
Yeah. Thank you for gifting a membership, and happy birthday tomorrow, Tarsha Global. Thank you for gifting 5 membership. Look at y'all.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Angie, Gospel Music Buzz, One Deep, Bonnie Bell. Make sure you say thank you to Tarsha Global. I appreciate your support.
Now, I made sure I turned off my fountain.
Good. I was going to.
I told my assistant, I said, make sure that thing is turned off, because people were saying that they thought the toilet was running.
I know people knew the toilet wasn't running, but they were just being crazy. And to your defense, you asked me before the show.
I did.
But I couldn't hear it at the time, and I was like, I don't hear anything. But with people who have like earphones in and earpods in, you can hear pretty much everything. So
I know. So sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, but it's all good. The information was still good, and they were able to glean off of it and all that. So yeah. But we are here tonight, and
LRL system.
Come on, put that in the chat, everybody.
We're here to talk about. We are here to talk about the LRL system.
Yes, we are.
Not the LR, but the LRL system.
That is correct. I think it is a great system, and I cannot wait to hear you expound on it. And of course, we're talking about learning, reinvesting, and then what? Leveling up. So I think tonight everyone can benefit, and it doesn't matter the age. Talk about that before we really get too deep into this. People think that they're too young to worry about finances or investing, or they're, I'm too old. I got my savings and I'm just going to let it sit there till I die.
You're not too young, you're not too old. And let's also get this thought process out of some people's mind. I don't make enough money. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's this idea that you have to start with millions, or you have to have millions of dollars. There are people that have got involved with the system, and it's kind of interesting. I have never, someone asked me, it might have been one of your viewers. They sent a message or whatever. They asked me, how did I get into this? I have never really talked about this type of stuff publicly.
Okay.
But when some of my friends would come to meet me, St. James, they would come, and then I would show them some of the stuff that I'm doing and some of the stuff that I bought and different things. And they would look at me and they're like, Prophet, you got to teach this to people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I thought they're like, preachers don't understand that, let alone church folks. Like they don't understand that type of stuff and how to leverage and how you did this and how you did that. And it happened one day. I was a friend that I grew up in church with came down to Florida to see me, and he liked one of my cars, and I hated the car. It was like it was I had like a mixed emotion about a car, but it was like a Lamborghini. And so he was so much. He was like, well, how much did it cost, or how much did it? And I sat up there and I said, I didn't pay anything for it. And he said, what do you mean you didn't pay anything for it? I said, an asset bought that. And that's when he was about, probably, he was maybe a little younger than me. And he said to me, he goes, how did you do that? And I said, this asset pays for this. I said, I don't pay for it. Yeah. And I said, no money came out of me. No money came out of that. So that's when I started to hear people say to me, you need to talk more about it. I don't push to be some financial guru. I don't push to be someone that knows this, but I can show you by the fruit. And a lot of people that kind of disagree with certain parts of my system, I say this out of the most humble way. When we go through their financial world and what they got going on financially, it tells a very different story. You know what I mean?
Right,
and so the big thing now is everybody is just so shocked about not saving. That's the big thing. But we'll go by it. We'll go step by step.
I had like this question. I think, did any of your mentors, such as Benny Hinn, or any of we know your father, Master Prophet, but did you gather any of kind of the things you're going to talk about from any of your mentors in the past, or?
So some of it I gathered from my dad.
Okay.
Reverend Ike. I remember being a kid going to Reverend Ike's apartment, where it would be the whole floor. We would get off the elevator. Yeah, basically he would own the whole floor. He would own the whole. He would own the whole floor. And I would look and say, "What's upstairs?" He said, "Oh, that's my son. That's my wife's section." I was like, "Wow,
section."
I have mine and she has hers.
Wow.
So I grew up seeing and being around people that had wealth, you know what I mean? So this was like, to me, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And then I remember we were going to go get some food, and we go downstairs, and there's all these cars that are covered. And so, Reverend Ike's like, pick a car. And I'm like, which one? Which one are your cars? And he goes, son, they're all are mine. All that the Father has are mine. So, you.
Oh, that's hilarious. I can see him doing it. That's what's so
yeah. So I grew up. I grew up around. These are the type of guys that I grew up around.
Yeah.
And then someone asked if Benny Hinn. I never. It was, there's certain things that are very similar, but you realize and you learn very quickly that wealth is consciousness. It has to deal with the type of consciousness. And so being exposed to that when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, you know, seeing that type of stuff.
It was already in your it was already in
my
mind.
consciousness. You know, I remember going to Bal Harbor, being about maybe 7 or 8 years old. I had my little suspenders on, and I had a little tie, because Dad used to make us dress in suits every day. You know, as a kid, you know, I couldn't wear this type of clothing when we were, you know, then we were in shirt and tie, and we were going to boarding. I was going to boarding school, preparatory school. So when we went to school, we would have to wear shirt and tie. And we first went to a public school, and all the Caucasian kids would be looking at us crazy because us 3 black boys would be in school with a shirt and tie and cufflinks and all this other type of stuff. So, you know, this is the way how I was raised, and not realizing that my dad was implementing that wealth consciousness, that way of, I didn't start wearing a belt. I always wore suspenders. I didn't start wearing a belt until I got maybe about, 10 years old, So this is all that I, kind of grew up around and was raised around. And so it really does shape the subconscious on how you view wealth and how you view things. And so being around that, you hear that. Quick funny story. We're in a restaurant in Bal Harbor. This is what I want to tell you. We're in a restaurant in Bal Harbor. Dad is there, I'm there, and someone else is there. I don't remember who they were. And they were looking at the menu, and Reverend Ike is there. They're looking at the menu, and they're like, everyone's ready to order. When we sit down and eat at a restaurant, Reverend Ike is ready to move quick. He doesn't like time, So that's like a whole thing. He wants the food immediately. And if it's food's not coming out immediately, there's going to be an issue, Rogerio, there'll be an issue. they all were like that. Even Benny was like that in some ways. So, because their time is precious, they have to do stuff. So we're in a restaurant in Bal Harbor. Reverend Ike is there, and I'm like a little kid, and someone couldn't make up their mind between whether they wanted, the fish or the veal or something, something. And so Reverend Ike, he gets like this holy anger, and he goes, order both of them. And if you can't make up your mind for what you want from the menu, order the whole menu. And to see this black man talk like this, basically he's saying, stop trying to think in scarcity, think in abundance. All that the Father has is mine. So he would say that. And so the person kind of got stunned. And so Reverend Ike says, get her both. And so, the woman gets both. She gets both dishes. And then Reverend Ike comes, and he wanted the filet mignon. I'm having the pheasant under glace with filet, so he's having the filet mignon. And the waiter comes back out. He says, I'm sorry, Mr. Eichencoder. We ran out of the filet mignon. And before the guy could finish, Reverend Ike rebuked him and said to him, in my Father's house, there is more than enough. Go back and tell the chef. And let me tell you something. They went back there. I don't know how it appeared, but the mignon appeared.
Wow. They were saving that for themselves or something.
So he really believed what he preached. That whole abundance thing and prosperity thing, that was a movement that I think blacks and brown people needed to have at that time. And that was a whole, anything that represented lack, he would curse it. He would rebuke it. To tell them that there was not enough, that there's no more steak, that's thinking in scarcity. In my Father's house, there's more than enough. So he would speak it, and it would show up. And he would tell me, he told me this one time, I got to see him before he died, about 2 years before he died. And he would tell me, he said, sometimes they would order food and they would tell him that they're out. And he would go speak it forth. And he said, the chef would come out and says, I don't know how an extra one appeared. The other one appeared.
behind the refrigerator.
Somewhere it appeared. I grew up around these type of radical men of God that were extremely dramatic, extremely, just extremely. They all had their flair, so to speak. And it was really what they believed. So when, I remember Rogerio was Reverend Knight's assistant at the time. When they would come back with some information, he would try to get up and say, what are you going to bring to the Reverend? Because, I know he's gonna. And this is all part of the leveling up, though, part. We're laughing and we're telling you about this, but this is all about the psychological part, because you can only produce the amount of wealth in your reality that's connected to the personality.
You can only produce the amount. Say that again.
Wealth. You can only produce the amount of wealth in your reality that is connected to the personality.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the issue that a lot of people have is that they want to level up, but want to be the same thing. There's a change in the personality that has to take place.
Right.
We see it with Jacob to Israel, Abram to Abraham. You're seeing the name change in the text.
Yeah.
There's a personality change. And every personality is connected to your financial reality. So if there's a personality of scarcity or complaining about your bills all the time, that personality begets scarcity. And so that's why that becomes part of that individual's reality.
And the sad part about it is that we've learned over the years about the prosperity gospel, as they put it, was just, it's not of God, and it's just a bunch of money hungry people. But I think if you think out of a certain way, some pastors and faith leaders want to keep your mind just focused on giving to them or giving to the church, and not really opening it up so it can be something, money and prosperity can be something valuable for you and your family. So it's sometimes I think I always thought that they preach against the prosperity gospel, but I think they don't know how to properly maybe teach it.
I said this to my sister a long time. Shame on the teachers that speak about giving or donating or giving your tithes, and you can't talk about giving without talking about investing.
Okay.
Because that creates a false balance, and a false balance is an abomination. And so what we see in the church system right now is that we are seeing a lot of heavy teaching on giving, which I believe in giving. It's biblical, it's scriptural. Charity, to give. Freely I give, freely I receive. Yeah. But you can't talk about giving and not teach about investing.
Yeah.
You can't have people giving to your ministry and you're not also telling them about giving to their future self.
That's right.
Which is investing. Investing is you giving to a future you before that you appears. And that's what this LRL system is really about. That's what we're getting at.
Do you think that's an issue because even the church itself isn't participating in any type of investing, reinvesting, or anything like that? So they're not really teaching it out. Or do you feel the church should be a part of that investing too as an entity?
When we look at the way how mainly the Black leadership in the church and where they are at, and I'm not saying any names, but many of these prophets that are out that claim to be prophets, they don't own a home.
Right.
They're prophesying homes to people and prophesying stuff. I mean, I have a couple in my head, and I don't want to, I don't mean to put them on blast, but people are renting homes, and this does not mean anything to belittle them. Right. I'm going to make sure that I'm clear. This is not in a way to belittle, but if they're having issues with their own financial literacy, how are they going to impact and help to grow the people in their finances? So you're dealing with, and this is not all, but you're dealing with some of these prophets that are in my generation. They don't own a home. They have horrible credit. They can't pay their rent. They're getting kicked out of buildings. I mean, but yet they have the ability to prophesy millions. Something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. You can't do that for your life, but you can do that to everything that I am stating today that I'm saying, I can show you.
Yeah.
And you can come fly down and I can show you step by step what I did. This is not hearsay. I've shown people when I was speaking to Larry Reed and, as a brother, I showed him, I took him, he didn't want to come. I said, Larry, get your tail in the car. Let me show you what we're doing. I said, you see this? This is a ground up. Yeah. And then he got excited about real estate. And in a lot of ways, I probably inspired that part of him to really come out. I know I did. I took him to a building that was ground up that we're doing. And I said, this is what I did. I said, I put this much money in it. This is how much the RO is going to be. This is going to have a 7% cap. I've already made over $2 million on this investment. This is what you should be doing with your money. So, a lot of times the leadership is not learning it. And then the leaders that do or are well financially, because I want to get this other part, they're not teaching the other people.
Right. That's the important part.
And I think that's the part where, I'm not, like I said, I think that's the part that I think Larry, in some ways, I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but I think in some ways he might have some type of truth in that. Not to say that that's what took place with his mentor relationship, but there might be a little bit of truth to that, and it can anger certain people that when they follow a man or woman of God and they're giving, nobody is saying, do you have a life insurance policy?
Yeah.
Do you own a home? Do you own a multifamily? Do you have anything in gold coins or gold or silver? Are you in the stock? Are you in the stock market? Are you into S&P? S&P, what's that? St. Paul? No. Come over here. Come over here.
Yeah.
That's not St. Paul. Come over here. Come over here and sit down with me, mother. Okay, prophet. The S&P is the stock market. This is a particular index fund. Are you in the S&P? So these are the type of conversations that are not had.
Yeah.
And while this is kind of funny and we're being shady and we're laughing in good spirit, but at the end of the day, I'm hoping that friends get blessed by this and enemies, even people who don't like me.
Right.
You can sit down and say, yeah, I don't F with the prophet, but he was saying some stuff that made me look at my own financial, thing that could be a blessing to me and be a blessing to my family,
And one of the important things that I wanted to make clear tonight and have you at staff, kind of expound upon too, like the principles of the Bible are great. I love it. I grew up, every offering we had to quote Malachi 3:8 through 10. Will a man rob God? Yes, you're right. All that stuff. Bring ye all the tithes to the storehouse that may be meet my house. Prove ye now who would saith the Lord of hosts. I will not open the windows of heaven.
You better know it. You better know your scripture. Don't start. I'm a church boy. Don't be starting St. James.
But the funny part about that is you see how I was able to just, ramble that off because it was instilled in us. But I think it has stopped there in a lot of church brain, a lot of church people's mind, that's the plan for financial success right there.
Right. It stops there. It stops there. It stops there. And that's where the disconnect is. And so you have these mega pastors that some of them, I've been around a lot of them that do have a lot of wealth. I know, I'm not going to call them that. I know a pastor that had so much wealth, mega pastor that I was around. They would just put their name on stuff. They own this, they own that. They probably had about maybe close to $100 million worth of assets. Never taught anything to their congregation about investments.
Wow.
Never, and then doesn't dismiss it and then mystify it and make it into something nebulous. Like, if you do this and give to church, God's going to bless you financially. Yeah, God's going to bless you. God blesses you by giving you strategy, but you have to know the principles to have multiplication.
Yes, you do. Yes,
you have to know the principles to have, the blessing might come through an opportunity, but if you don't work that opportunity, baby, you're going to get jacked up.
Yeah.
and you won't have Jack, and Jack won't be in your life, and Jack won't be hitting you up and will be ignoring your phone calls, ladies.
Just jacked. Listen here, we're going to get into it. Before we do, listen to this, everybody.
Yeah. God says when you go to the bank this time, approval, the Spirit of the living God. My God. God says that he's singling you out because God says there's an anointing on your life. And God says, you tell Omen Joseph that I'm calling him for ministry. It's Jonathan's time for a miracle.
Who's Jonathan?
My name's Jonathan.
Jeez, my God.
Stay connected to Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Text the words text MJ to 33339. That's TEXT MJ to 33339.
And make sure, mods, that you do put that into the chat for me. Text MJ to 33339. There's different ways. You'll be seeing different ways to get in contact with the ministry of Prophet Manasseh tonight. Because listen, you have to have a faith leader in your life that actually, preaches God's word or teaches God's word, lives God's word, but also can go beyond the four walls of the church and be concerned about your whole well-being, whether it be physically, which he's the fitness guru right here.
Stop.
Physically, mentally, financially, these one-sided faith leaders and pastors, I don't know what use they are to us. So definitely text that, text MJ to 33339, and also there was the other number as well. We will post that as well, and ManassehPraise.com. So what would be your first? Actually, let me ask you this first, and then we can just kind of dive into.
I love that shirt, St. James.
Huh?
I'm digging your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
I like it with the face on it and everything.
Yeah, I got it in. I can't remember if it was Amsterdam or Sweden.
It looks like it's from somewhere over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, though. This question, I love Dave Ramsey. He's a financial guy. He's kind of a financial, spiritual type of guy.
Yeah.
I listen to him, in the car, and I follow him on social media. Here is a question I just want you to kind of speak to and your thoughts. It says, while you're working hard for your paycheck, your money could be working for your future. Most people work their whole lives for money, but never learn how to make money work for them. That's why they stay stuck. They earn money, they spend money, repeat.
Yeah.
So what is our first approach into this LRL system?
So, what he just said is the key thing, and that's what we're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
What the system is that you want to change people's concept of money. But before we just go to that part, I also want to bring up the whole thing where people were challenging my statement about you're not supposed to be saving.
They came for the jugular on that one.
Can we start with that? And it's interesting because the people that are defending it, you can tell, are people that have a scarcity mindset, and it's okay. We're not judging.
Yeah.
I hope that you will watch this and be open-minded and be able to have a conversation, a free space, and be able to say, wow, I get it. Because when I had mentors around me that was teaching me about finances, I remember when they said that, I said, wait a second, you're always supposed to have a savings. And then as you learn more, and as I started to understand more of what the wealthy do, you never are supposed to save. And it's also not biblical. There's nowhere in the scripture where it tells you to save money. Okay. So what is funny is that when I hear people say, I'm saving for a rainy day, the wealthy are thinking about investing in the umbrella company for the rainy day. Very different way of thinking. You see that? That's a very different way of thinking. Poor people save money. That's what the poor do. That's what the poor does. And while the wealthy circulate money. And so when you understand this, you'll realize that saving is not biblical, number one. It goes against the spiritual principle, and it goes against the spiritual principle of the kingdom of God. But not only does it go against the spiritual principle of the kingdom of God, it's a principle to project fear. Because you're saving for something fearful to happen. How can you say that? How can you say that? Well, let's go to Matthew 25, verse 14. We don't have to go there, but in the parable of the parable of the talents, there's one servant that buries and saves his talent.
Right.
Okay? He buries it, which is saving it. Literally, he opens up a he put it in there. And his money, and the master, which is really representation of divine law.
Yeah.
The master in the parable calls him wicked. He calls him lazy, because saving means locking energy out of circulation.
Wow.
It is wicked because it halts growth. Saving without circulation is spiritual stagnation. It's fear pretending to be wisdom. And so we don't teach that. The same thing also in the Old Testament, Exodus chapter 16, verse 20, when the Israelites were trying to save manna.
Yeah.
Okay? Remember the provision that God gave them. Now, these are just some simple principles. The provision that God gave them, they tried to save. And when they saved it, when they woke up the next morning, it bred worms and it stank. It stank. So this is the same type of thing. It eroded because divine supply only multiplies when you trust and flow. So the wealthy do not save, we invest. And it's okay to have money in investments that you can take some money out if you so choose to get in a situation. Listen to the way I said that. If you so choose to get into a situation, you can take some money out from here or take some money out from there. But we're not teaching you to have savings for 6 or 10 months just in case this happens, just in case that happens, because that means you're living out of fear. And living out of fear is not the divine principle. Fear is not the opposite of faith. It's a type of faith. Job caused all this havoc in his life because of his fear. Now, most people would tell you, oh, Job caused it because God wanted to test him. But if you look further at it, Job says, the thing that I have feared has came upon me. Yeah. He was a righteous man with unrighteous thinking. And because he was doing things out of fear, like having a savings, that's what creates that. So poor people save, rich people invest.
I know it's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people who have who've been, and people will probably get in the comments later on and give their opinion. They won't do it in the chat now. But again, tonight, we need to listen, to someone who has walked this thing. Because the way a lot of us has been walking, Prophet, it hasn't pushed the needle on our lives an inch.
No. And, when I hear people, talk about saving money, it's so interesting because I'm open to learning. And so the people that I hear harp about savings, most of these people, can't put, $15-20 million together.
Yeah.
They can't put it together. And so the conversation stops. And I tell them, imagine if what you're talking about putting in a savings, or what you've been doing and leaving in your savings for the last 10 years of your life, imagine if you left that in something like Apple.
Yeah.
Amazon. I mean, we just met St. James and I told you a stock to put some money in. And you tell what you said to me today. You did nothing. You literally did nothing. You just
did nothing. I was sleeping.
Right.
And again, when I don't have that Manasseh money, but when you said this, this moved up, and you mentioned the stock to me, I just put a little bit of money on it, and I woke up to the thing had increased $500 overnight. And that was just a little bit of money. So what and again, everybody, we're not talking about, you going from A to Z in a day, but there's a process to this thing. And no, we're not selling anything. There's nothing being sold here tonight. Somebody put that. No, we're just trying to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, nothing's being sold. We're putting you up on the LRL system. We're putting you up on game. Yeah. God never told you to save anything or to save manna or to save your love. Saving all my love. You're not supposed to be saving your love. You're supposed to be giving your love. I know we love that song. We love that song, but you're no business saving it. You're supposed to be giving it.
Yeah.
God never told you to save. He told you to gather it daily and distribute it faithfully. Money obeys the same law. Now, I want to get into it and modernize this so that we understand. If you put $1,000 under your mattress for 10 years, okay, inflation is about 3% per year, or it used to be. It's way more now. So that $1,000 turns into about $700 of purchasing power.
Yeah.
If you took the same $1,000, instead of saving it or putting it in a savings, but you invested that same $1,000 in the S&P, that doesn't stand for St. Paul.
Again, it doesn't stand for St. Paul.
If you put in the S&P 500, you're looking at an average 10% annual return. This is what the average based on the data.
Yeah.
So it's going to grow to about $2,500 to $2,600. Saving loses value, investing multiplies value. Yeah. That's why the wealthy don't save, they circulate. That's the difference. And even if you put it in a savings account that can give you a little bit of interest or a little bit of, it still does not do the same thing. So what I tell people is whatever the savings that you have that you've been keeping on the side for, God forbid, if you lose your job and you need 8 months or 10 months or whatever the BS that they tell you, BS meaning belief system.
A belief system, y'all.
All is pure. BS is belief system. So someone type that into the chat room there. So Prophet is trying to use profanity. BS
equals belief system.
So if that's going to be the thing that you want to have, that I always tell my people, I said, take that out of your savings.
Yeah.
Put it in, if you want to be very safe, put it in blue chip stocks. They don't move that much. They're going to fluctuate, a little bit here and there. Let's put it in there. Mm-hmm. And so now you're moving out of saving it, where you're being a wicked servant, to making it multiply.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can put in something aggressive, or you can put in something very, 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 very conservative. But either way, now your money is working for you and multiplying for you over time. Can we talk about the current state of the economy? I know we mentioned that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted you to tap into that, because listen, we are at a place, shutdowns and no SNAP benefits. People are, I guess there was something that says now they're going to get them, but we need to be in a place where we're not worried about what administration is doing, because we already have a plan in place that has pushed it. So talk about where we're at right now, Prophet.
So currently right now, we are going into probably another, they call it the industrial period, but we're going into our technocracy. Okay. We are going into a technocracy. And in each of these period, when we go back and we look at the turn of the 19th century and the 20th century, we see something known as the Gilded Age.
Yeah.
The Gilded Ages, although they're ages of people having, the Vanderbilts, and where people have accrued so much wealth, there's also a sinister part to it. Also, it was also the time that you had some of the most poverty in the nations. And this is why you had people like Roosevelt that came together and created the unions and different things to protect that. But we are seeing all of this being undone.
Yeah.
And so we are about to see that the wealth transfer happened already before our eyes. We literally have watched the wealth transfer happen. COVID was the biggest wealth transfer that everybody was confused about the virus. And that's where people were just making money off of different things. I mean, anyone who's talking about buying real estate right now, they're late to the party, boo. They're kind of, that party kind of, you know, they're late to the party. Anyone's talking about buy now, buy out of the country, buy. Yeah, you're kind of late to the party. This is the time that you actually would be selling. So or holding. So what we're seeing now is we're seeing a couple things here. And I'm going to give you a visual so people can understand to make it very plain. Imagine you're a lemonade stand. Last year, a lemon cost $1. This year, it's $1.20. That's called inflation. When prices rise and your dollar shrinks. Now, people who keep their money sitting still, saving it. These are the people that are preaching to you. We disagree with Manasseh. Save your money, save your money, save your money. Do you have $10 million you can rub together? No, I do Uber driving, but save your money, save your money. You know, and this is no shade to the Uber driver.
Yeah.
Versus someone who understands this and manages this and has just a real estate portfolio well over 50 million.
Wow.
You know, you are able to see that now people who keep their money sitting still, the lemonade just got smaller. Okay, because they can't afford it. And not only can they not afford it, they're now going to pastor, asking pastor to pray for a financial breakthrough, do this. Because you listen to the guy telling you to save your money and split it in the savings account. But people who invested, they bought the lemon tree, and they're creating their own lemon. So here's what the data is saying. Inflation has an average of about 3% per year. In the US, from 2022 to 2025, that's 22, 23, 24, and 25, it has spiked from 6% to 9% annually. So that means the dollar is getting weaker by almost 20%. And it is jacking people up. Right? While the dollar is getting weaker, those that have assets, it went up.
Going up, appreciating.
Appreciated. So when COVID hit, I didn't get no PP loan. I could have. We didn't get a PP loan. We didn't need a PP loan. But I've watched an appreciation on some of my assets, I made probably about an extra $20-25 million.
Wow.
Okay. Because I didn't save, I've invested. So this means that the wealthy keeps less. And when we get into this, I'm going to tell you what the wealthy do. But if inflation is going from about 6 to 9%, and there's talks with the trade war that we are about to see inflation about to pick up to a whole nother level. Because this whole thing going on with tariffs, it gets passed on to the consumer. You don't have to be Democratic or Republican to know that. It's kind of common sense.
It is.
So, the company, they're going to raise their price, and then they're also going to downsize. You saw Amazon just laid off people. You saw Apple. I mean, they all,
all of them.
Facebook. Oh, they all are. So they're going to pass it on to the consumer, which is the working class, and they're going to have to eat the brunt of it. Wow. They are to save is to survive, to invest is to thrive. Thank you,
Master Prophet.
Thank you, Master Prophet. Thank you, Daddy. So we're gonna see this go to a whole nother level. While the average savings account is earning about less than 4%, So your savings are losing real value every day. The wealthy keep less than 10% of their net worth in cash. The rest is in assets that earn while they're asleep.
Right.
So I remember being on the phone. My uncle called me, and my uncle says to me on the phone, and I can say this, we were being funny. We were joking. He said, he says, I have about $2 or $3 million sitting in the account. And I started to sing that song. How dumb thou art.
Oh, your most famous hit.
How dumb thou art.
And you told your own uncle that.
I told him that. I said, because I said, the bank only secures about what, 200,000?
Yeah, right.
It goes to show you have no business saving money in a savings account. The bank can only secure a certain amount of money. So it gets to a point that when you become wealthy, you have to open up all these multiple accounts just to try to secure the saving. It becomes a heartache, and you're really operating as a miser. So the wealthy keep less than 10% of their net worth in cash. Some of the most wealthiest people I know have the hardest time to put together $500,000. I know someone right now, they are worth close to $300 million. And they are struggling. If you ask them right now to write a check for $1 million or for 500,000, you're not getting that. That doesn't mean that they can't do it, but they're going to have to make some phone calls. Sell this. Yes, I'm speaking to my private banker. Sell that stock that we had in NVIDIA. Sell 50,000 shares. That's because their money is so much working for them.
Yeah.
That, they don't have stuff sitting in the savings. But then you have Joe Schmo or this person that happens to be a blogger that makes a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, or they're an Uber driver and never dealt with millions of dollars. They're sitting up there telling you, yeah, Prophet Manasseh is wrong. Save your money, save for a rainy day. That's fear.
Yeah.
No, invest your money. Have your money making money for you. And if you do get into a situation, go into your investment and pull something out. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So that's the key thing. The wealthy don't chase money. They build systems that chase opportunity. Type that into the chat room. The wealthy do not chase money. They build systems that chase opportunity.
Type that, everybody. Mods, if you do that for me, I appreciate it. Before we go on, Master Prop, was that prophetic? No.
Don't start, St. James. Don't start.
The wealthy do not chase money. They build systems that create opportunity.
That's the key thing. That's the key thing. And you're always looking for things to put your money in. That's always growing. You see that picture right behind me right there?
Yes.
I got that from Martha Stewart's estate. Okay. That is going up in value by about 5 to 10% a year. Okay. So it just shows you that you're always looking, and you'll start getting that mindset, even to the furniture that I buy. Okay. I know everyone likes contemporary, and there's a big joke because people, when they come to my place, they says, you're like an old man, you're 30 something years old, but you're like you have stuff that's like a 70 or 80-year-old man. And I look at them and I say back to them, I said, my furniture goes up in value. Your furniture goes down in value.
Their IKEA doesn't quite go.
It doesn't go up. So I buy, I do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
From even my piano bench, that piano bench, I think, is 18th century. I don't know. It's probably, we had someone offer me $20,000 for it that was looking at my place. They offered me $20,000 for it. So it's just, you start thinking about everything being an investment. Even some of these gemstones behind me that I have, those things go up in value. Those are part of my investments for commodity. So while
beautiful purple things you showed me.
Oh, that was, I got that as a gift.
The amethyst.
Yeah,
Okay.
A friend sent that to me for a gift.
Okay.
But it was over 1,000 pounds, so it could not get into the door, and it's it's a AAA quality amethyst. It's actually one of the things that were on the vestments of the priests. But those things, they go up in value.
Yeah.
They go up in value, and they're cool to look at, but they go up in value. So when I have children and when I do my Saint, I'll say, well, this child gets my commodities, they get all my stones. And these are the ones that we see, those are the small ones. I mean, I have others I have something that's like 3,000 pounds, but these things just go up in value. I have an amethyst that I bought years ago. It's probably weighs about 1,200 pounds. I bought it for 60,000. I just had a store offer me over 100,000 for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So again, that's the mindset.
That's a rainy day.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a rainy day. The getting into investing, I remember I asked you because I used to be on it, but I just do it through Robinhood, right?
Okay.
So can you introduce some of those to the audience of how can they start? What's a good app? What's a good service that they can just start, download it now, and let's go.
I want to go first with the first investment that I was taught. And my father was the one that actually introduced this to me. Okay. I'm on the phone with my dad. And at the time, I think I was considering buying a house or buying a home. And I told my dad, and my dad said to me on the phone, he says, do you have insurance? He says, I have a life insurance policy on every one of you, but do you have an insurance policy? You need to have key man insurance on everybody that works for you. And then he went on to tell me and said, you also need to have an insurance policy. So I got my first insurance policy when I was probably 22 years old. This was the first layer of investment that I recommend for someone. And if you don't want to do it, on your own self, you can, because you might have health stuff or whatever, do it on someone else, do it on your mama, do it on your daddy, do it on somebody that do it on your daughter, do it on your child.
Yeah.
Imagine you plant a magic tree. Every year it grows fruit, which is money. But if something happens to you, the tree still keeps feeding your family.
Right.
That's life insurance.
Yeah.
So many times we see people not thinking about that. And so when they check out to go be with God, it's a big mess. They're having GoFundMe pages. They have this. They're having website pages. They're having all types
of dinners, barbecue dinners on the side of the road, car washes.
Yeah, it's a hot mess, and it's embarrassing, and it's something that can easily be avoided. And you don't have to do this type of stuff. You don't have to have big money to do this type of stuff. So the first thing that we do is that you need to properly structure a whole life or an index universal life policy, which grows tax deferred benefits and grows at around 4 to 6% on average. The cool thing with life insurance policies is that you can borrow against the cash value at 5 to 6% interest while your money continues to compound inside with the interest. So you're not really paying the interest.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's the cheapest money you will ever get. That means your dollar can be in two places at once.
Right.
Growing and can be spending in another investment and growing somewhere else. So I took, back in 2019, I took $500,000 out of my life insurance policy that my dad told me about. And I put that in Bitcoin. I think the price of it at that time was, I don't know, it was a couple $1,000s. And that $500,000, I don't want to go through the numbers because, people might get upset.
Don't scare them. Don't make them so jealous.
They'll get jealous of me. But and it grew, and I never had to pay back. When I called up there, I said, I think I'm going to pay back, put the money back. They said, for what? They said, your policy is already growing. And I don't really even have to make payments on it. And it's still continually just growing. So I like what Dad says. Life insurance is not fear of death. It's faith in legacy. Thank you, Dad. That's what life insurance policy. And so that was the first investment I learned about. And my dad was the one that opened that world to me. He said it, and I ran with it. And I didn't realize it was like building all this cash value until I looked up. And they were like, you know, you got over this much money in there. Oh, wow. Let me take a little
Just say, let's just keep it in there and save it in there.
I made it work.
Yeah.
I made it work. So the first thing that people need to do, that everyone needs to do, is you have to have life insurance. Life insurance represents resurrection. Okay. Right. That's what it needs to be represented in your mind as a believer. It represents resurrection, wealth that awakens even when the flesh is asleep. You are literally using your future self as collateral. A sacred covenant of continuity. So when I choose to leave, and sometimes when I talk like this, people look and say, "You're so young. Why would you talk like that?" And I look back at them and I said, "You're so dumb. Why would you not think like this?"
Yeah.
You know, I was sitting down. I was in my Rolls Royce, and I was talking to someone that was 24, and I was saying this. I said, "When I leave here, or when I choose to leave here, my work for the School of the Prophets will still be getting built. Right. They will still be able to be building it. There will be a policy of about $20 million that the ministry will have to continue the work in the prophetic while I'm gone." This is about legacy. And this is why you want to think like that. And so you can do it on the level that you can do it in. For some people, it might be 200 to $250,000. That might be the policy that you're looking at. Right. Do it on your level. Do it on the level that you are at. But I'm guaranteeing you, you will grow wealth within 10 years. You're going to have extra money.
There was a question in the chat. It said, well, how approximately how long does your life insurance need to be there before you can actually start taking advantage of borrowing against it?
So there's different types, and that's where you have to speak to a professional.
Okay.
Mine, I was able to borrow immediately, but I put a good amount in there.
Gotcha.
For a tax shelter and all this other type of stuff. So there's different things. There's some that do it after 4 years, 5 years. But this is why you speak to someone, and there's people that is good. I know there's someone in Dad's ministry, Esther, and I actually spoke to my dad, and I said, maybe, she can come on and talk about it. I spoke to Dad about it, and she sells life insurance and really understands that. But that's where you want to speak to a professional. That's not my profession, but I'm telling you what I did. So it's building cash value. And then over time, if you ever do get into a situation, you don't want to liquidate the whole policy.
No.
But you can take something out of it and say, yeah, I'm going to need a little money from that, or I'm going to need to get a little money to get through this. But normally it's usually about 3 to 5 years or so.
You can get a little bit of that money and put a down payment. And even if you do a first-time home buy, if you haven't bought a home, you can do a first-time home buyer type of thing where it's only like 3% down, and bam, you've never been a homeowner. Now you're a homeowner. You're building your assets.
And that's exactly what I did. I bought my first real estate property from borrowing the money.
Wow.
The life insurance policy.
Yeah.
I borrowed the money against that and bought my first real estate asset. So here's the key thing about the housing thing. It used to be better to buy a house than to buy a commercial property. And when I say commercial property, I'm talking about real estate that brings an income. So
right.
It can be a multifamily,
duplexes, triplexes, quadruplexes. Yeah.
Right. And in some places, I know they have different amounts that represents, that covers commercial, residential.
Right.
So what I basically teach is that after you,
there's Esther right there.
No, there she go. That's her. That's Esther. That's Esther.
Right there. Right there. So Esther, you can put your information in the chat, and people where they can just they can contact you.
Yeah. And I wouldn't recommend somebody that I didn't know. It's her. And then there's another, but she is good people. I've heard her speak about it. She is she's of the same faith. She will get you right together. So she is really good. And I ran it by Dad, Master Prophet.
Oh, good.
And to make sure that he got his really. That's the only reason why I would mention it live.
And Pastor Deborah, she said loves her. That's it. Thank you for being in, Pastor Deborah and Master Prophet. Yeah.
So the other thing is this.
Can you hold it just for a minute? I just want to speak to that because when I was at Prophecology with Master Prophet, I dipped into one of the sessions and he was talking about this life insurance and making pretty much talking about how, different ways with the family and helping the ministry. And so this is stuff, y'all. Convocation for the Church of God in Christ is coming up on Monday. And I guarantee you won't hear anything about generational wealth, investing, leveling up. You won't, the poor Church of God in Christ folks won't hear anything. They're going to be dressed tough and they go home. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be at the convocation eating McDonald's because they couldn't afford to really get there because they spent all the money on clothes. But this experience going into Prophecology with Master Prophet, they were teaching on this stuff. I'd get over there to the Tree of Life with Prophet Manasseh, and I'm in there doing meditation. And these are things that I'm saying, I want to bring to you guys different ways of thinking. This church brain that you're stuck in, we have to rearrange that thing so your family and you can live life more abundantly. I'm just saying. Go ahead,
So the life and the layer one, I learned, I really learned from my father. I mean, he was the first one that taught me the life insurance. And then there's a couple other things that's cool about life insurance. Mm-hmm. You get sued, they can't touch it.
Right.
People sue for all the time. They can't touch it. You have $20 million sitting there and tell them that you got $20 million sitting there.
Yeah.
Can't touch it. Can't touch this. Don't. Yeah. Instead of this, if you don't own it. No, I don't own anything. I do have a policy. There's a couple million in there. Can't touch it.
Yeah.
They can't touch that. They can't touch that. So it's a safe haven too. It's a safe haven. Okay. Other assets people can try to touch, people can try to go after, but it's a safe haven. They cannot touch that money. That money is there. It's yours. They can't touch that stuff. So that's the other cool thing about that. Why I love life insurance and why it's such a safe investment.
Yeah.
Then from there, we go into real estate, and real estate is the law of dominion. I put real estate as part 2. And the reason why is because we do this also on levels of emotional maturity. So the life insurance is easy. You don't really need to have a lot of emotional maturity for that. You're putting your money in there and it's accumulating and it's over time, it's going up. But real estate is different, but it's slow. It's very slow, but it's a different type of investment. So the law of dominion. Imagine owning a house where people live. They pay you rent every month. The rent buys the house for you even while you sleep.
Yeah.
That's passive income. Money that shows up whether you clock in or not. Right. The average home appreciates from about 3 to 5% a year. I recommend people, instead of buying a home, to buy a multifamily that can bring you in income. It's better in this season and the way this market is. If you own a 4-unit building and each tenant is paying $1,500, that's $6,000 a month. Right. Even after the mortgage, taxes, maintenance, all of the different BSs that you have to deal with, belief systems.
Yeah,
you might clear $1,000 to $2,000 a month. That's not savings, that's sovereignty. That's sovereignty. So when we do this, the first building that I bought was a 6-unit building. 6-unit building. only had to put down about $200,000, 20% to buy it. Borrowed the money from the life insurance policy. Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, I think the building might have I think it was doing 1,500. I think the rent was like maybe at 1,600. Took a loan out off the building. And this is true. What I'm telling you, this is not, this is true stuff. I've been there. I actually lived in one of them.
Yeah.
Took a loan out, redid the 6 units, and then bumped the rents up to, I think the rents are almost like 2,000 to 2,200 on 6 units. Now, you're making about 12,000, a month on there. Because the revenue went up, the building went from 1 million to being worth about 1.8 million. Again, wow. It went from the life insurance money to buying an asset. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I might not have 200,000. You don't need that then. Partner with someone. Yeah. When I'm in these real estate meetings and I'm seeing how these Jews are working, and this is something that gets me angry. And I was saying this to my stockbroker and my wealth management. I said, it's so crazy that I don't see a lot of people that look like me in this field.
Right.
The Jewish people or the white boys, they're partnering on real estate deals left and right. They're partnering on real estate deals left or right. It's very easy. It's very clear. There's no misunderstanding. It's, okay, we're buying this. I'm putting this down. You putting this down. I'm a part owner. They're going to put that in the deed or whatever. That's what you can do with real estate. People are always partnering in real estate. Yeah. I'd even met with my first partner because I didn't have the right credit or whatever to get a certain loan. A Jewish guy I met, oh, you're buying that building? I'll partner with you, Mr. Jordan. Don't worry about it. I'll show you the assets. I'll help to be the co-signer. And that's where I bought a $6 million building that's worth over 10 million now. Wow. So real estate is very easy and you can do it at your own level. For example, there was a deal that came across my table today, and I have a friend looking at it, but I also brought it up to one of my students who might be interested in doing it. The house is about $340,000 foreclosed. It's in Little Haiti.
Okay.
Foreclosure, $340,000. To buy this, you might need a little hard money, but you can get away buying it for $30,000. Okay. Right. So someone who has their life insurance that's been there for 10 years, I'm sure it's probably aggregated about 20 to 30,000. You take your money out of there, you borrow that money, you buy that thing, you fix it up and put some lipstick around it. Or let's say you don't have the money to fix it up. You stick a renter in there for now and you get maybe about, $2,500, $3,000. And then you get a loan, or you take a loan off the value of the property because you have the asset. Banks will loan you money. Not even banks. Right. You'll get private people that will loan you money to do a flip. Fix the thing up. And then the next thing you do after you fix it up, don't sell it, rent it out, create passive income. I have never sold any of my properties that bring in passive income. I never sell. You'll also hear David Ramsey say that, who's in real estate.
Yeah.
There's no need to sell, because the whole key about it, and this is why when I talk and I teach real estate, I don't do flips. We don't do quick flips. That's not what we're not trying to make fast money.
Gotcha.
That's not the LRL system. We don't make fast money. It's not about making fast money. Making fast money, chasing some fast tail, it always gets you in trouble. Sorry.
Leave that tail alone. Let it go. Let it go.
We don't do nothing fast. We don't fast tail. We don't chase fast money. You leave it alone.
That's another part of that mentality that we all kind of have been trapped into. Yes. Wanting it now,
Fast. Don't let your sexual appetite mess up your money.
Ooh! So somebody put that in the chat. Don't let your, and I'll allow you, even if YouTube stops it, we gonna show it. Don't let your sexual appetite mess up your money. Woo, Lord.
That's a word. That's a
What,
word
man,
for
that's a
somebody.
word.
That's a
Like,
word. That's a word for somebody right there.
ooh, you find yourself just, ooh, oh,
Oh God.
freaking.
So when we're understanding this,
Mm.
we're getting at something here. Oh, my ear went out. So when we understand this, we're getting at something else here that I really want people to understand here. So when we buy these assets and when we buy these real estates, we're not trying to do a quick flip. We are all creating this so that we can have passive income from it, passive money from it, so it can keep on making money. And even if you're only making, 3% on your money, it's still good. 3% in 10 years is 30%.
Yeah.
Okay. 4% on your money, 4% in 10 years is 40%. Okay. So the first property that I bought for $1 million, $1 million, that was a 6-unit building. I've had that property now for about 8 or 9 years, or might be going on almost 10 years, but maybe I think about 8 years. That property has already paid me back the money that I put down. I've already have gotten back my $200,000 off of that, because I'm making at least 50 to 60,000 of profit a year from it.
Right.
So you start with wealth, you start getting into this pattern of quantumtating. It's like compounding, and you start compounding on a level that you don't even realize that the thing is compounding. Master Prophet says, fast money buys thrills, slow money builds thrones. Woo!
Come on now, Master Prophet.
That's good, Daddy. Fast money buys thrills and slow money builds thrones. That's really
Then they wrote the song, Manasseh. They said the thrill is gone away.
Watch it.
But then what you got? What you got?
Oh God.
Man.
So in the garden, Adam was placed to dress and keep it.
Yes.
The first command is of stewardship of real estate. Real estate is the modern Eden. Let's go to a quick commercial space so we get to the third one.
All right.
Today's gonna.
All right.
Now, so after we get into real estate, so layer 1 is life insurance. Layer 2 is when I start to get into real estate. And when I did this, the biggest lesson that I learned, it was a very transformational time for me. This is for me personally. I owned a home, and I remember selling my home, and taking that money and dumping it into real estate that made passive income, and then using the passive income to pay my rent while I waited to get another home. Okay.
That was before you don't sell anymore.
I don't sell any assets. I don't sell anything.
Yes, gotcha. Assets has to be.
I don't look at a house, and this is, and people that go on, like students of mine that I teach this, I always tell them a house is a liability, not an asset. And the reason why it's a liability, not an asset, is because a house is not making you money.
Right.
It's a liability. You have to pay for this. You have to pay your tax. You have to pay that. There's no income that's being produced from it. So for a lot of people, I sit up there and I tell them, if like I was a particular partner, she had about $400,000 worth of cash. She wanted to go buy her dream home with it. I start to sing, "How dumb thou art, thou art." I said, you would be better off, because of the way the housing market is right now, and because of the prices are kind of high right now. I said, you would be better off either if you want to do something with real estate, stick the money into a 4 to 5 unit building. You have 400,000. You can buy a fourplex or something for $1 million. You can even buy something for $2 million with putting 20% down.
Yeah.
And either live in one of the units for a couple years if you want to really make money, or have used the money that you're going to be making off of that to pay your rent for the other place that you're living. And now you're living almost free. Your money, your investment is paying for your lifestyle. And that's what you really want to get to. You never want the money that you earn pay for your lifestyle. Your investments should pay for your lifestyle. Your investments should be paying for your lifestyle. When people start having the money that they earn pay for their lifestyle, that's when they're going to go broke. Because the money that you earn is your seed money. You should be tithing off of that money and investing in that money. And the money that from your investments, that's your fun money. That's the money that should be able to get you your Bentley, your Ferrari, your Rolls Royce, or your trips that you like to travel. There's some people I want to be on the south of France for the weekend. then that's what pays for that. Okay. So that's how you want to kind of build your system of wealth to be. So I sold my house and I moved into one of my buildings, and it was only like a 600 square foot apartment.
Wow.
Did this because I really wanted to discipline myself to learn this. And it was a very good experience that I did. And then I took the money from the house and I invested it into another real estate property. It was I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 million. And then that thing generated me, I made probably like 6 or 7 million just off of that. So that's where I want people to get at. Start thinking, if I sold the property prices are high right now. If I sold my house and I took that money and stuck it into an investment, would that passive income be able to pay for my lifestyle? The renting market is softening right now.
It is.
So you can get good deals with rentals. So that's the way how you want to start thinking about compounding your money and kind of doing that with your money. If you notice, wealthy people are always moving around. They're never stagnated in one place. Some of them don't even, they did a whole thing with billionaires that don't have no houses, no homes. These are people that are filthy wealthy. They don't have no homes. There's some people that just stay in hotels. I went through a phase where when I sold my house, I went through a phase where I stayed in a hotel for a little bit. But my investment was paying for my hotel. So while I was staying at my hotel and whatever, it might have been, I forgot what it was, Frank, remember, it might have been like $2,500 a night or $2,000. My investments was paying for that because I took that money that I had and I stuck it in investments. And so my investments was paying for that lifestyle. So you want to, because the money sitting in your house, that's only going to go up by maybe 3%, maybe. Right. Take that money out and then put it into something else or refinance it and to put it into something else that's growing quicker. Now we're talking about having the passivity and making the passive income from that. So that was the biggest lesson that I learned from real estate. Houses are liability. Assets is where it's at. And you want your house to be paid for with your assets. You don't want your hard-earned money paying for your house.
You said one thing that was very important in there. You said discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a portion of it that with anything, nothing just lays at our feet and we're rich overnight and we're thin overnight and we're all these things overnight. It takes that concept of discipline for any of this. We can get all this great teaching and all this great, strategies. But if we don't have the discipline to really put some things in, because it's going to stretch us in certain ways we haven't been stretched before.
Absolutely. And so what I also teach people is when we're developing our financial discipline, anything that you want to buy, wait 30 to 60 days before you buy it and see if you feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before I bought that painting, I waited 90 days. I wanted to make sure I liked it. I wanted to make sure it was a smart investment. I wanted to make sure I did my proper research. Okay. So you want to make sure that before you buy anything, you don't want to get into just, splurging, because that's a whole nother thing that you can get into financially. You want
Yeah.
to make sure that you have discipline, that anytime before you buy it, you want to sit there and you want to ask the question, let me wait 60 to 90 days. And you're not waiting because you can't afford it. You're
Yeah.
waiting because you want to make sure, is this lust? Is this something that I'm lusting after? Or is
Right.
this something that I really find productivity in it? That's a very big thing that helped me a lot, because I would sometimes just, oh, I want it now. I want it now. And then you get it, and then you never use it. You never open it up, or the bags are just sitting there,
Mm. There was one more. There's another question I wanted to just throw at you, and this was not really a question, kind of a statement by Dave. He says, "Giving is the most fun you can have with money."
That's the only reason why you're making it. Poor people think they're making money to save. Wealthy people understand we're making money to give. That's the only thing that you can do. And I think the highest level of giving is not only giving to spiritual work, but also giving people experiences that they've never had, exposure.
Yeah.
Exposure. And I'm learning that more and more and more and more again. They did a study, I think it was at Harvard, and they spoke about wealth, and they said giving someone an item versus giving someone an experience, which one brings change to the person more? Giving them an experience. So I think that's what money really helps people. Money is not everything, but money is freedom. And that freedom is able to give you experiences that you've never would have before, that will shift your consciousness and shift your mind in ways that it's never been shifted before. But that's the key reason of why we have wealth. We don't have wealth to be a miser. We don't have wealth to save it. We have wealth to give it. That's really what it's all about. Let's get into the third layer, unless if you have another question for me.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
All right. So the third layer that we're going to get into is the law of multiplication. And this deals with stocks, bonds. Imagine you own a cookie, and from every bakery in town, you own one cookie from every bakery in town. When the bakeries make money, you get a crumb from all of them. That is what stocks are. So the S&P has a return of about 10% yearly for the past century. Okay, for the past century, 10%. Inflation is around 7%. Okay, 7% after inflation. Excuse me, after inflation, which is about 3%, it goes down to about 7% of your buying power. So if you invest $200 a month, and these are numbers that I kind of wanted to keep very simple, where people can say, "Oh, I can do that," or "Oh, I can do that." So let's bring some examples into this. If you invest $200 a month for 30 years in the S&P at 10%, that money becomes, after 30 years, close to about $400,000.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Let's say that again. Maybe someone else, I can't do 200. That's a lot. It's maybe 100. If you do $100 a month for 30 years at 10%, that money becomes at least $180,000. Now, these are simple principles. The key thing to building wealth is that you do not want to try to get the money all at once. You want to get it until when the money starts compounding. When it starts to compound, that's the secret, because now your wealth is just compounding. It's just compounding. I recently got into investing also in, I love automobiles. And so I like antique vehicles, One time we were on FaceTime, we were in my luxury garage, and I was showing you some of the.
I was just like, "What's over there? What the? Show me that one. Show me that one."
And so, I learned early that there's certain cars that are depreciating, right? Like these Lamborghinis and all this other type of stuff, they're depreciating. And I said to myself, one time I'm on the phone with Jonathan, I said, I want to make sure I buy cars that go up in value, like investments.
Gotcha.
I'm young, I'm 35. I want to make sure I buy vehicles that go up in as, that I can have fun with, but they're also investments. They can go up in value.
Right.
And so again, this is the same way, not thinking about savings. Instead of having this extra money sitting in the bank account, I need to find somewhere else. And that's what's going to start happening as you build wealth. There's going to be extra money hanging around. You can say, oh man, that property went up
Yeah.
Worth 300,000. Now it's worth 500,000. I got to do something with that extra 200,000. Okay. I need to take 100,000. The interest rates are low. Okay. Let me take 100,000 out of this and put it in this, because this will start growing, and that's going to pay the mortgage that I'm doing that. And you're going to start thinking like this. So one of my cars is a 1925 Piccadilly car. Apparently, I think that thing went up in value or something. I didn't even know. From 1925, it's a Rolls Royce. And so I get someone that reaches out to me. I get 3 people that reaches out to me, and they offered to me almost close to double from what I paid for it.
Wow.
Okay. And so this is the type, one of the guys that offered me, he owns a sugar, his company has all the sugar. He's old. He's like in his 80s or something. He's a billionaire. He happened to see it, and his assistant, they said, "Oh, would you sell it? Would you?" I said, "Well, I'm not really interested in selling it." I said, I wanted to have a little fun with it, but he said, "Oh, would you sell it?"
They know the value.
Yeah. Would you sell it? We'll give 700, 800,000. So you'll start when, as you build wealth, you'll start being very smart with your money, and you'll start investing in things that hold their value, even cars. You start looking and say, "Nah, I don't want to buy that car. That car drops in value. I'm going to go with the buggy, or I'm going to go with this instead of that, or I'm going to go with this. Yes, I understand the upkeep is going to be a little bit of a pain, but I have an extra car because I have enough money. So I'm going to do this one also. And this one's going to be my fun thing." If that's your thing, other people, it might be art, but you start thinking about investing in things that is always going to increase over time. That if anything happens to you, your family can sit up there and say, "Oh, he left these. Oh, okay, let's sell one of these amethysts to get his thing done. Okay, how much can we get? Oh, 50,000. Okay, let's sell that. 100,000. So you start really looking at how your wealth compounds, and it gets to a point that you lose count because it just keeps on compounding. Like, I didn't know that car went up in value. It's like, oh wow, that's worth that now. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. So you start. It just starts compounding. Pictures, artwork, different types of stuff. And what you're doing here is that you're getting your wealth into a place where it's compounding. Saving your money is not going to have your money compound.
Right.
You want to say something?
No, someone was asking the question about the stocks and bonds and thing. Is there any books or something, or did you read anything or look up any information in regards to the right direction people should take when they're trying to invest in the stocks and bonds and things like that? Or
here's the key thing, and this is the system of the stock market. The stock market gives you the unconscious. It's giving you the unconscious biases and emotions of society. Okay. If without making it very deep, I'm going to give it to you very simple so that you're able to understand this. When there's something called a fear and greed index, okay, someone look at the fear and greed index, see where it's at right now in the market. So what is the fear or greed index? If someone watching, let's look at the fear and the greed index. And once we learn this is the system on how we build wealth in the stock market. So what's the fear and greed index? Can someone type that into the chat room? You can just go to your browser, go to Google and type in fear and greed index, fear and greed index. And then you can pull it up. Fear
and greed index, FGI, they put it at.
Yep. And then pull it up.
Okay.
And you can do this. You can do it for the Dow. You can do it for the stock market, or you can do it for crypto. So right now, where's the fear at? 35? Did anyone pull it up? Fear or greed index.
Extreme fear, or the fear is 25 to 44.
Okay. And where's it right now currently?
Oh, that's a good question.
Let's do the stock market fear and greed index. Someone type it in. Yep, it's 35. Someone just put in 35.
Okay, 35. Okay, they got it.
So
good, y'all working in here. Come on now.
35 is pretty good. So when you're buying in the stock market or crypto, here's what you want to look at. You only buy when fear is there. That's it. Buy all the fear. The wealthy make money on the people's fear.
Mm.
Fear is the race consciousness. That's the realm or the emotional state that most of humanity is operating on. Okay. So when we're talking about mass psychology of wealth or the stock market, you can keep it very simple. Invest in the S&P. Wait till it's fair. So it's 35 right now. I like it to be a little more fearful. When that thing starts getting in the teens and the 20s, oh, I buy. When the thing says comes up and it's green and it represents greed, that's when you sell. So when you're doing stocks, this is what you're buying. You buy the fear and you sell on the greed. When everyone's getting greedy, oh, this stuff is going to go up, that's when you sell.
Yeah.
And when everyone's fearful, that's when you stick your money out, and that's when you buy. Take your emotions out of it. Most people cannot make money because they're too damn emotional.
Yeah.
Take your emotions out of it. This is not an emotional decision. Stop doing it. And the whole idea of thinking that your emotions move God, that's another, dogmatic BS type of thing that people think. God doesn't care that you're crying. God doesn't care about your emotions. He cares about your principle.
Yeah.
If you place a seed in the ground, then you're going to get a harvest. Okay. You can't cry about not having no pumpkins and you didn't put no pumpkin seed in the ground. God responds to law. So when growing up, Dad always taught us the principles, which represents the law. In the scripture, law is encoded with Lord, but Lord and law are inseparable. That's why Jesus says, I did not come to break the law. I came to fulfill the law. He is the law. He's the law manifested in flesh. So this is a law of the market. If you don't know what to buy, just buy the S&P or the Dow Jones, and you wait for the fear. When you see that fear get to 20 something, you look at it every day. You see that thing goes down to 28, 24, just go ahead and just send them your money and just wait for it. Just wait for it and you'll get your money back because it has to come back over.
Yeah.
So that's the secret on how I buy. Now, I've been in situations where the fear and greed, Master Prophet just said, the fear and greed index reveals what faith and wisdom conceals. Woo! Daddy, you are dropping it. You are dropping it. Jeez.
Bars upon bars upon bars tonight.
Y'all see what I grew up around, right?
Right.
The fear and greed index reveals what faith and wisdom conceals. So this is all about an emotional game. So you're waiting, and you can tell people are waiting. Warren Buffett sold a lot of his things. He's waiting for fear to hit, and he's going to buy everything out. He has billions of dollars just sitting there just waiting. And that's what you want to do. You want to get to a point where you're just sitting up there waiting. So you might find out, you might say, ooh, I have an extra 50,000 equity in my home, or I have an extra 100,000 equity in my home. I can pull out 30,000. You see that fear go down real low, go ahead and pull it out. And as soon as you see that thing start coming to greed, sell.
Yeah.
That's the time to sell. That's the time to sell. And it takes discipline, because even I've had points where I didn't sell when I should have sold. I remember being up in something I was up maybe about $5 or $7 million. And I know the principles. It was this is in the market. And I knew from the principles, the greed, everything was saying greed. It's time to sell. It's time to sell. It's time to sell. I kept my behind in that thing and lost all of that money.
Wow.
That was my $5 to $7 million lesson. So when we deal with the Dow, or we deal with crypto, any of these things, crypto, Dow, you should be making your decisions on the fear and greed index, not on what people are saying, not on what people are talking about. Look at the mass psychology on how people are feeling. That's all you have to do. And I know that sounds simple, and you buy a whole index. Don't pick one company in particular. Just buy the whole index. Just buy the whole index. This way you can do it, and you just make the decision off the thing. So someone might be saying 35. Is that fearful enough to buy? Not really. It's okay. It's okay. We want that thing to be down in the teens, 10, 11, 12. That's when you should just be throwing your money at it. Just throwing the money, just throwing money.
Manasseh, thank you so much for your CashApp. My first CashApp of the night. I'm not sure why the chat isn't colored up tonight, but thank you so much. It said late tuning in. This info is major. Do you offer one-on-one coaching or master classes trainings? Wish I would have learned this 20 years ago.
I don't. It's funny because I have a lot. I started to do a couple of years ago. I did some videos where I was showing people my buildings and I was showing them what to do, and I got such a big response. And I just never touted myself as a coach in this type of field. But I do with my partner base. Some of my partners that I speak to, that gets close to me, we get into deep conversations about financial well-being and financial literacy. And they have told me, they said, Prophet, you got to put something out because people are not teaching this like this. But that's kind of the way how we do it. People who support the ministry, I do have conversations with them about, over time. Okay. So that's simple. So that's how you want to invest your money. Just look at the fear and greed index. That's it. St. James, it's easy.
Yeah. Like I said, I was asleep.
just look and see where the fear and greed every day. Just go look at it, or get something that sets an alert. Just get something that sets an alert to let you know when the fear drops to a certain level. Just look, just get that thing, and you look at it like it's a newspaper, and you just stare at it. Yeah. Oh, a bomb just went off. Oh, 9/11 happened. Oh, this happened. Oh, the fear is up. Time to put some money in the market. Let me go ahead and put some money out. Ooh, greed. People are greedy. Let me sell and get out of this stuff. It's too high. Yeah. So that's how we master the stock market. And it's hard because you got to get your emotions out of it, but that's how you do it. The Bible says in Matthew 25, I want to say this real quick. A good servant traded their talents and doubled them. Trading, stock market, investing, assets, multiplies your energy. So the stock market is a collective mind of humanity. It is the unconscious collective mind of America. Yeah. When you invest, you're not buying companies. You're buying human emotion. Okay. Yeah. That's how we look at that. Layer 4. Should we go to a commercial break, or you want me to go right into layer 4?
No, hold on. I want to make sure they understand how to connect. But again, connection is key. So here's a way you can connect with Prophet Manasseh Jordan.
Yeah. God says, when you go to the bank this time, approval, the Spirit of the living God. My God. God says that he's singling you out because God says there's an anointing on your life. And God says, you tell old man Joseph that I'm calling him for ministry. It's Jonathan's time for a miracle.
Who's Jonathan?
My name's Jonathan.
Jeez, my God.
Stay connected to Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Text the words text MJ to 33339. That's TEXT MJ to 33339.
There it is right there, everybody. You can do it even right now. Text MJ to 33339. As I said in the beginning, faith leaders, pastors, spiritual advisors, whoever, I think they ought to do the all-around pastoralship. Physical, emotional, spiritual. It should be everything.
Financial,
yes. It has to be all together. Malachi 3:8 through 10 is not your financial plan to get you through life. It is a great biblical principle, and that works, but you got to reach beyond that. So make sure you text MJ to 33339 right there. So number 4, there's 5 altogether, everybody. We're already on number 4. If you've missed it, red ball back later on and grab all the information. Go ahead, Prophet.
So level 4 is really dealing with commodities. And I want to really get into understanding commodities. Commodities deals with the law of preservation. We see this in the Bible with the salt covenant. Salt is to preserve. So when we talk about commodities and preservation, this is now wealth preservation. This isn't really about building wealth, but it's more so about preserving wealth. Okay. Yeah. So think of gold and silver as money's armor. Okay. They don't rust, they don't rot, and nobody can print more. When paper money shakes, gold stands still. So gold long-term return is about 1.5 to 2% above inflation. So if inflation is about, and that's why we're seeing such a high surge in gold, because inflation is high. So anytime inflation goes high, gold, you start making money on gold. So my gold is going up in value. I forgot I had gold. I bought gold maybe 10, 15 years ago. I forgot. I have it sitting somewhere. And, one of my gold bars I recently sold, whatever the gold bar, I have the bullion gold bar. I might have bought that for 40,000. The thing is now worth, I don't know, over 60. So you're buying gold because its real power is protection.
Yeah.
During the 2008 crises, gold rose 25%, while stocks fell 38%. Do you see how you balance your money?
Yeah.
So the money that you're making off of gold, you'll be using that to buy the fear in the market.
Gotcha.
You see it?
Yeah.
So gold doesn't make you rich. It keeps you from becoming poor.
Gotcha.
Gold represents the sun energy. That's the masculine authority, while silver represents the moon energy, feminine. Both together represents a balance, and you have to have this in your wealth for the correct type of alchemy. The alchemy is preservation. So silver now is about to have a run. I've been telling some of my students and some of the people that I mentor, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver. If you cannot buy gold, buy silver. Silver's cheap. Silver's cheap. Silver is about to have a big run up. Gold always moves first and then silver. Anytime you see gold move, go ahead and put your money in silver. Silver's going to be moving right behind it. She's coming because gold always brings his wife.
Okay.
When we look in Exodus chapter 25, verse 11, the Ark of the Covenant was covered with pure gold. Symbolically, it represents preservation of divine value. So we do gold, and gold should only be, maybe 10% of your wealth. 10% of your wealth should be in gold, and you just sit it there and you leave it in there. The virtual gold is Bitcoin. That's the virtual version of gold. Leave it in. You're not trying to become an overnight wonder with gold. You're just leaving it there as wealth preservation. Because if anything crazy happens in the economy, your gold is going to shoot up. So that's how we deal with gold and commodities. And then you have palladium, which is good. I made a lot of money off of palladium. I made money off of copper. All of these things are just the mineral kingdom. All these things are always. I make money. I made money off of amethyst. I made money off of. I bought one of my amethysts recently sold. First of all, I had one amethyst I shipped to someone, one of my partners. It broke, and the appraised value, I think I paid maybe $2,000 for it a couple of years ago. The appraised value was like $6,000. The insurance company sent me $6,000.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's just, that's just, and I'm giving you real stuff that happened to me and my experiences. So you just understand how this stuff works.
Where do you invest in gold and silver and commodity? Is that on that same investment app, or is it something different?
You can go to, there's different companies that I've went with. I had to ask my office or Frank to text me, but there's different companies that you can buy gold. You can buy gold directly from, that are good. When you look them up, these companies, you look up, where can I buy gold? You can look it up on the internet or whatever, but you find JM Bullion. That's a popular place. A couple of the companies that I know of that are good, Lear Capital, Priority Gold. Birch Gold Group. These are just some of them. Hartford American Hartford Gold. That's another very good place. These are
Costco selling gold now.
Oh, wow. You see? But if you don't want to do gold, you can do silver, which is cheaper, but still can give you a very good return. There's a lot of places that sell gold that you'll be safe in.
And then like gold and crypto, kind of that same. And
crypto you can do on platforms like Coinbase is usually the best, but you can also do it on Robinhood. You can do it on that. I'm not a crypto expert. Because some people get a cold wallet, cold store.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know.
You just know what you know. But
I have one, but I mean, you forget your password. I mean, then what? You know what I'm saying?
You just have money sitting over there.
Yeah, I actually have crypto that I do. I have crypto where money's just sitting there, and one of them I got locked out. I don't remember my password. Things shot up. I think I had 10,000 turned into 200 something thousand, and I got locked out of the thing. I got to find the never mind. Anyway, let's go into the next thing. Okay. Layer 5. So let's get into layer 5. So when we get into layer 5,
before you do that, Master, I keep calling you that.
Okay, prelate.
Right. Listen, we appreciate you, everyone watching, but we want you to hit that like button right now. Will you do me a great big favor? Hit the like button. Do hit that share button. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber of the St. James Show here. All right. Subscribe right now. And we are happy to have our guest prophet Manasseh Jordan here with us, talking about LRL, the system of LRL. And it is a powerful thing. If we listen, if we can take these principles and apply them, lives will change. We're on number 5 of the 5 steps.
The 5th one is speculative investments. And this is the law of expansion. These are the most riskiest investments, but these are the ones that you can make some wealth, some generational wealth off of. So this is the playground layer. This is now that you have layer 1 done, now that you have money in layer 2, now that you have money in layer 3, now that you have layer money in 4, now you can play around and get into risky investments, speculative investments, buying property in foreign countries, buying stuff in Dubai, buying stuff in Europe, just stuff that, just.
So you don't do number 5 first.
No.
No. Okay.
You don't do number 5 first. No. So before I hear someone talking about Bitcoin, you have life insurance.
Right.
So if the thing goes to 0, I don't want to hear you.
Right.
Okay. You got your life insurance. Oh yeah, I got life insurance by profit. Okay. You got real estate. Yeah, I got a duplex. My mama's in one. I got 2 duplex. I'm in the other. Okay. Do you have, do you S&P? Oh yeah. I'm in the market. Okay. And then you have gold. Oh yeah, I got some gold coins. I have about 20,000 in gold. Okay, cool. Now you can fool with Bitcoin. Now you can fool with speculative stuff, because if that thing drops or you lose your money, you're not crying. You're fine. You're fine. For you, it just means we can't go to Paris this year.
Right.
But your lifestyle is not changing. That's what it means. Or we can't. We're not going to be flying first class this year. We're going to be taking some coach seats because, they pay off. That's all it does. It doesn't really change anything else. So layer 5 is the playground layer. It's where you take small risk for big dreams, like investing in new tech, crypto. You don't bet the farm. You plant a few wild seeds that might grow into a forest. So when we look at Bitcoin's 10-year annualized return is 60%. High risk, high reward, 60%. 90% of all new startups fail. That's why this layer is only for 5 to 15% of your wealth.
5 to 15%.
This is a layer of faith made tangible. And you must invest from vision, not emotion. So when we do this, and when I teach this in my coursework, we go into these investments through the dream realm, and we want to tap into the subconscious. And this is going to get a little deep, but earlier this year, I had a dream about a particular stock, and I think my dividend from that stock was probably anywhere between 300 to 500,000 a month, just off one stock.
Wow.
That's the money. The stock went up. The stock got on the S&P. The stock blew up. I had a dream. In the dream, I connected the dots. I figured it out what that dream meant, and then I used that to invest. So in my coursework, I teach people that a lot of times you will get some of your biggest speculative investments from your dream realm. And you're not going to hear too many people teach on this, but you'll get it from your dreams. Dreams are very prophetic. Even in the Bible, they tell you that God sealeth instructions while men sleep.
Wow.
Okay. So that is the subconscious. That's the part of you that is prophetic, intuitive. That is the feminine consciousness of mind. So when I get people, and when they go into speculative investments, I always tell them, before you go to bed, ask the Lord to reveal it to you in your dream, and you will have a dream. And whatever you dream about, go ahead and invest. There was a woman several years ago, she tells the story that she keeps on having dreams of the Amazon forest and the Amazon, like she's in the Amazon forest. So she comes and she sees a company named Amazon. This is like 20 years ago, 20, 30. Wow. She put $10,000 in it. Look up someone on AI, type in $10,000 in Amazon. If you put $10,000 in Amazon in 2001, where would it be? If you put $10,000 in Amazon in 2001, where would it be at? Mm-hmm. Today. If you put $10,000 in Amazon, where would it be at today? And so this is probably the fun part. I know Dad, during COVID, he had a dream. He saw something falling from the sky, invested in it. People became millionaires overnight. This is how these type of wealth come. But when it comes, you have to catch it. And this is why you have to be able to have your dream catching, your dream. You have to be able to be a dream catcher, because most of these things will be put in the subconscious or the feminine consciousness of the mind. What if someone puts $10,000 would turn to 1.5 million? Do you see that? 1.5, 10,000, $10,000. I know a woman, and I know this woman because she's partnering with me on a deal. She has about $7 million just sitting in one of her investment accounts. I looked at her, I said, "Where did you make this money at?" She said, when I was, she's in her 60s now. She says, back in the 80s, she said, I kept on having dreams about apples and stuff. She said, I didn't know much about the company.
Wow.
She said, I put, I had $7,000. I put it in Apple. She said, the thing grew. I got $7 million now.
And now it's just sitting right there in that investment account.
So this is a whole nother conversation that we're going to have because it's just rather deep, and maybe Dad will come on for this one. But your biggest wealth ideas come from the dream realm, the non-physical realities you visit. And so many times when people are praying for something, God, I need money. God, I need this. The answer always usually shows up in your dream. You just don't know how to decode it, because dreams are parables.
Oh, wow.
Dreams are parables. So at the beginning of this year,
still speaking through parables today.
Right.
Jesus is still revealing
their stories. They're stories. These stories are not based on no facts. They're not based on anything. But these stories are things that your subconscious is giving you messages on to know to do. So I had a dream, and a particular stock showed up in the dream. I was sitting down, and I teach people how to go into theta and how to catch it in dreams. I was sitting down, I was listening to certain affirmations, and then I fell asleep. And there's a particular tea I drink when I need to dream. I'll get in that. This Patreon is more for private stuff.
Yeah.
But when I need to dream, and so I had my tea. I had my sister make my tea, and I sat down, and I was focusing on prosperity, and I fell into a dream. And in the dream, I saw these gold bars, and on the gold bars, I saw these letters written on them. When I woke up from the dream immediately, I did the searching. What letters are MS? And then I called my dad. I said, I had the dream. He said, what was it? I saw gold bars. On these gold bars, I was trying to hide them in this room. And I saw the letters in the dream. My subconscious was telling me an investment that would make me over $2 to $3 million in less than 2 months.
Wow.
And it did it. So you want to pay attention to your dreams, because with wealth building, the fifth one comes from your dreams. You are not using just, everyone is talking about it, let me do it. You need to pay attention to your dreams, because you're going to get the message in the subconscious. And the subconscious is the feminine aspect of consciousness. And that's where those messages comes through. And sometimes if you are not remembering your dreams, it's because you're going to sleep tired. The nervous system is not retaining it. So we do work where we start to rebalance the parasympathetic nervous system, which deals with digestion and all that other type of stuff, to get a lot of my partners. I tell them, if you're not remembering your dreams, we need to work on that before you get into the deeper things, because some of you guys are praying for stuff and God is giving you answers, but he's giving it to you in dreams. If there be a prophet in the land, I shall reveal myself to him in dreams and visions. He's giving it to you in dreams, and you're not capturing the information, or you're just thinking, it's just a dream, it don't mean nothing, when that dream is showing you different things with investments. There were dreams that people had that pointed you to NVIDIA. There were dreams that people had that pointed you to Bitcoins. There were dreams that some of you had, and now you're sitting up there saying, oh yeah, I did have that dream. I didn't know that's what it meant. Yeah, that's what it meant, girl.
Yeah.
And that go ahead and do that. I understand you might not know what that company is, but go ahead and just say, "Ooh, Spirit gave me that. Okay, let me go ahead and do that." So you wanna get into that. And when I had the dream of the company, I didn't even know what the company was. I saw the ticker symbols. I saw the ticker symbols, and the ticker symbols is what revealed to me, the investment, and that's how I do a lot of my speculative investments. So there's a whole thing, and that's a whole nother teaching to get into with dowsing. We talk about dozing. When you're dozing off, when you start doing this in practice of dreaming, you want to get into a state where you're dozing off. Some of the best places where I get this is when I'm flying on a plane or when I'm dozing off in the car.
Wow.
Because you have white noise. And so certain people, they can only retain their dreams when they're hearing white noise. That's why the plane, if you notice on the plane, some people get the best sleep. It's white noise. That noise is actually getting the brain waves to be in synchronicity, so you can delve into there and you can pull that information from the Christ mind within you, because that Christ mind is connected to the subconscious.
That is a teaching that is needed.
And I can teach. I've taught this to people, and there's been people that do. I know several people in my ministry that practice the dreaming thing and has made big money off of it. Big money off of it. Big money. I know. There's at least 3 people that won the lottery and just dreamt it. That happens all the time. That happens all the time. So you have to practice that, and that's where it starts to get spiritual. But you'll practice that. So I want to go into this next segment now that we talked about the 5 layers of everything. How to start with what you have. That's what I want to get into now.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into a 5-year. We're going to get into I'm going to explain this very simple. So let's say you have $10. You put $1 in gold. Okay? That's 10% for safety. You put $2 in a piggy bank that earns more money, which is called the stock market. That's the S&P.
Right.
Okay? That's 20%. You put $3 to buy a candy machine that pays you $0.25 every month. That's real estate.
Okay.
Okay, that's 30%. You do another $3 into a tree that keeps growing fruit every year. That's life insurance. And you play with the $1 to try new ideas or speculative investments that the subconscious or that the dream realm gives you over time. So over time, your $10 becomes $100, not by saving,
Right.
but by circulating. You don't need 6 figures for this. There's going to be some people that's going to sit up there and say, yeah, we understand what he's saying. That makes sense. Yeah, we don't like Prophet Manasseh. We don't like what he's saying. We understand what he's saying, but you need big money for that. Not true. Not true. You don't need 6 figures to start.
Yeah.
You need 6 habits.
Come on now.
Oh!
That's a word. You need 6 habits. You don't need 6 figures.
That's it. You just need 6 habits. You need 6 habits. Learn, plan, invest, reinvest, diversify, and the 6th one, be patient.
That's the hard one. That's the hard one, Prophet.
Yeah, that is the hardest one. That is the hardest one.
Oh.
It's not about how much you start with, people. It's about how fast you learn to multiply. It's not about how much you start with.
Yeah.
The poor save because they fear loss.
My God.
The wealthy invest because they trust the divine law. Yeah. The world teaches you to hold on to money. The word teaches you to release it, to sow it, to circulate it, to multiply it. Give, and it shall be given unto you. That's not just tithing. That's financial physics, people.
Yep.
In this season, God is calling you to move from saver to steward.
Come on.
I feel an anointing here, right?
Come on now. Let it,
In this season, God is calling you to move from being a saver to a steward. And from consumer to creator.
Yeah.
The Bible says that the heathens worry about what shall I eat? What shall I drink? That's what the heathens do.
Yeah.
That's why we have to come out of this idea of saving. Learn, reinvest, level up, LRL, because faith without structure is fantasy. I'm tired of people being in the dogmatic church, fantasizing and thinking that's faith. Faith without structure is fantasy. And structure without spirit is stagnation. If you got something out of this word tonight, I want you to bless this platform. I'm feeling an urge here that there are several people that I want them to do a $40 seed. They were in the wilderness 40 years. Jesus was fasting in the wilderness for 40 days. Noah, 40 days and 40 nights. 40 represents the overcoming of challenge. And there are people that are watching right now that God is pushing them to overcome financial stagnation, financial mess, financial confusion because of what has been passed on to you from your mama and from your mama's mama and from your mama's mama.
Yeah.
The story is told that there was a woman, my dad tells a story, there was a woman and they had a piece of turkey and, the granddaughter saw that they were cutting part of the turkey leg off to get into the pan. And she said, Mama, why you cut the turkey leg off? I mean, isn't that still good meat? And she said, because, grandma did it. And so she went to her grandma. She said, Grandma, you cut the side of the turkey. Why do you guys do that? She said, well, because she said, my mother did it. Her great grandma was around. She came to a great grandmother. She says, great grandma, my mom does this. Grandma does this. Why do you cut? I know you don't cook anymore, Grandma. And Grandma had a little dementia. She was running in and out, but she was finally awake. She said, great grandma, I need you to answer this. And great grandma looked at her and she said, baby, it was because the pot was too small. People have financial practices like saving because of illiteracy or what was taught to them from their mama or from their other mama or what was taught to them from their trauma. Tonight, God is breaking that. God is breaking that tonight. There are several people that I want them to do $40. If they can do that 40, there's some people that are breaking the back of poverty tonight. I want you to do 140. You're not sowing for a word. You're not sowing for a prophecy. You're not sowing. You are sowing because there was something that you got out of this message. If there was something that ministered to you, something that grew you, something that you're saying, I'm going to be making some changes with the way of how I'm doing things. Now I see what I can do. I see what I can do with $200, investing it in the stock market every month. I can see what I can generate. He taught about how $200 can turn into 400,000. There's many of you that's still going to be around the next 10 years. You can start today. You can start. I can't do the $200 a month in the market. I'm going to do $100. Okay, that's where you're at. I'm going to start saving $25 and putting it on the side every week, and I'm going to be putting in the market. Prophet, I'm going to put the money on the side and I'm going to be investing with the greed and the thing index. I'm just going to wait and I'm going to be doing that. I learned that. I want you to get your seed in today and representing, I'm breaking the back of poverty. I'm breaking the back of poverty. Poverty is generational. When you are breaking the back of poverty with this LRL system, it's breaking the back of poverty for your children's children, your nieces and nephews. Poverty is generational, and poverty has nothing to do with the amount of money in your bank account. Poverty has to do with your consciousness and your mindset. That's what poverty has to deal with. Tonight, I want you to give. There are several people that's doing the $40 seed, break the back of poverty. There's others that are saying, Prophet, I needed this tonight. I'm one of the millionaires that is in the making. I'm doing the $140 seed. I'm breaking it. I'm one of them. I want you to do the seed. St. James, if they want to be a part of this movement right now, how can they sow? How can they get their seed in?
Right here on the screen, you'll see $ the St. James Show for CashApp. And if you want to do by PayPal, Zelle, the St. James Show at att.net. That's the email for it. And of course, Venmo is there as well, the St. James Show. So it's all available for you right there. Thank you for those who are already sowing. I appreciate you believing in the laws of this faith walk journey to break this realm. I even learned some things that I am going to implement into my journey as well.
I had to get my seed in. I was trying to do 400. So St. James, I owe you a penny.
Oh,
You're gonna remind me, St. James.
I'll remind you now.
Remind me, St. James.
Thank you so much. I'll let you slide. I'll let you slide on that penny. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
But as people are doing this, they're breaking the system, because let me explain something. We are this next thing that we're about to go into if you don't know how to invest your money, and if you get all jacked up and get all bent up, you're going to be looking on the other side, and you're going to be blaming the devil.
Yeah.
But the devil is your own ignorance. That's what the devil is. The devil is your own ignorance. I know we like to personify it as this. I think I heard an evangelist said the devil it has to be someone black or red, but the devil is your own ignorance. And that's why we're teaching this. My people perish for the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I want to know who was the first one that did the 140 tonight. There's others doing the 40. There's others that are doing the 80. Maybe someone's saying they said, I needed this. I'm doubling my 40. This is for me and my daughter. This is for me and my daughter. This is for me and my son. This is for me and my husband. Me and my husband. This is for me. This is for me and my wife. Go ahead and get it in now. Who's the first one that did that 140 for St. James?
James Terrell.
James, I'm going to say two things to you. Number one, this has been a season of where you're going to be changing the way you manage things around your emotions and specifically around relationships. God has been teaching you and been doing a work with you around your communication and your communication skills. So this is going to be a time that God says a new day is coming, but I see something that you've been thinking about moving away from or traveling. It's almost as if you know that your season in a particular field or in a particular space is coming to an end. And I heard the Lord saying, get ready, because God says that you're about to begin to see that where you felt stuck with this person and with this work, God is going to bring a shift. And I also heard the Lord saying this is going to be a season where God's taking care of some documents and paperwork because he's bringing healing to a loved one's body. And that is the word of the Lord.
Sonia Williams did a $140 seed as
well. Wow. You know, Sonia, this has been a time of where there's been a lot of tests that you've been going through. And there's going to be something that you are going to see God give you favor with. Sonia, I don't know why the Lord is saying this, but number one, there's something that you're going to need to make sure that you stay on top of around the dental area. But I also see something that you've had to go through where it's been some family things that you've had to deal with. And there's been certain people that you've had to love from a distance. So this is a season where God's going to bring healing to matters of the heart. And God says something around insurance and documents. You're going to need to make sure that you're keeping things up to date, because God is revealing something that is taking place with a loved one and with a family member. Who else has stepped out here tonight, St. James? Who's done which individuals has done the 40? Oh, yeah, Cortez. Wow.
Yeah, he did the 50, actually. Thank you so much, sir.
Cortez, you're in a position of leadership and transformation. But Cortez, I don't know why the Lord has shown me this, but there's something that God is doing physically for you, but he's also doing something around this debt. In other words, there's something that is going to get paid off, but there's something that's even going to be bequeathed to you or that you're going to end up getting. So this is going to be a season where God says, be open-minded, because there's someone that you have stood with and that you've helped that you're going to receive their benefits or receive what they have from this because of your loyalty. The other thing that I want to say to you is that this is going to be a season also where you're going to need to start writing some things down. There's an idea that you have, but God says there's a creativity that you have that you're going to be honing into and that you're going to be getting more better because you're a hearer. God says that he has given you a gift. And this is why even the musicality and some of the things that God has possessed, that is quickening you with, that God says that he's going to bring leadership around you. And there's something about a property that God's reopening up for you, saith the Lord. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Yeah. If you got something out of this word here tonight, I want you to do the 40 representing the struggle is over. I am overcoming stress. I'm overcoming struggle. I'm overcoming confusion. I'm overcoming all of the things that the enemy has tried to plague with me and do against me. I am breaking the back of poverty tonight. There's others with the 140, the $40 seed. St. James, how can they reach you? Is that it on there? The dollar
right here on the screen, right there. All of it's there. $, the St. James Show, PayPal and Zelle, the St. James Show at att.net. Venmo is also the St. James Show. The first 40 that we had gotten earlier tonight when you first did the call was Tanisha McGee. She said, great show tonight. Learned so much.
Oh, bless you, Tanisha. She's a faithful partner too of the ministry. And Tanisha, this is going to be a season where God says that there's something that you're going to be finding yourself coming into. something about insurance, but I also heard the Lord saying, get ready because God's doing something around the housing and the living arrangements. You're in a season of a shift. And so this is going to not only open up a door around your work, but it's also going to cause another stream of income to begin to be exposed to you that you've dabbled in. But God says now you're going to be finding yourself being in a position of leadership around it. So I don't know if this is a license or something that you're getting involved in, but God says you're going to be seeing that things are not only going to open up for you, but things are going to begin to also expound for you financially, especially around your around your retirement. Who's the next one?
140, Jamal Parker.
Wow. Jamal, have you moved yet, or you've been trying to move? I'm looking at something here that I'm seeing because you're in a season of expansion, but you're also in a season of where you have to let go of certain things that someone has said to you or done to you. This has been a season where God has been bringing a peace in your heart, but he's also exposing someone's motives around you. Let me know if you've moved yet or you've been thinking about moving, Jamal, because I have to give you a further word around this whole situation and around this person that has been in and out of your life.
Thank you so much, Jesse, at $40. Thank you, Jesse, one of our faithful partners here.
Jesse, I don't know what this is about, Jesse, but I heard the Lord saying, don't judge it so early. Don't despise not small beginnings. There's something that you're going to be finding yourself figuring out doing. It will take patience, but God says stay nurturing it because there's a door that's about to open up. I also see the writer in you coming. So God says, whatever this thing is that you do when you speak or sing or hum to the Lord, God says there's something that's being birthed out of you. And there's been a purifying that God's been doing around your heart, especially since the loss.
First Lady Denise Richardson. Such a great partner of mine.
Wow, Denise, it's something here. You're in a time of where you're learning, but also there's something that you're educating yourself in. And I heard the Lord saying that although there's been a loss and some things that you've had to go through emotionally, even with somebody that you had to look after and their medical stuff that was kind of done, God says this is a season of provision that God is giving you. I want you to come back with the 240, the 240. A door that was shut is going to reopen. If I be a prophet, a door that was shut is going to be reopening up around your work, and they're not going to be playing games in your face around your payments and around your monies any longer. And that is the word of the Lord. Jesus.
Oh, wow. 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 Thank you so much, Sean Nathan.
Are you saying wow for it?
Because I know Denise Richardson and yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sean Nathan. So many of you have sold. I oh my goodness. Right here on the screen, though, Sean Nathan, thank you so much, sir. He said he enjoyed the teaching tonight.
Bless you, Sean Nathan. Sean Nathan, number one, God says that he's protecting something around transportation. But I also heard the Lord saying is that God is revealing something on why there has been distance around something. And this has to deal with either someone that was around you or someone that you were connected with. This has been a season of where God says that he's bringing clarity, and he's also bringing clear communication between you and this particular person in this season. You're growing, but this is also a season of where restitution is being made back around something that took place in the past. And that is the word of the Lord.
This is Jamal. He said, I moved already to Florida 6 years ago.
Yeah, because I'm seeing there's been something that has been stagnated, Jamal. And part of this has to do with the area that you're working in or the area that you're in. I'm looking at you making, and this is not meaning that you're leaving the state, but I'm looking at you making this next move. But this next move is going to put you around the right team and the right folks that's going to be benefic for you, because this has been a season of where there's been things that have been happening, but there have not been coming into the full financial favor that you've been looking for. And that is the word of the Lord.
Malitha says she's not typically a seed sower, but Malitha Searcy.
Malitha? Is that, did you say Malitha?
Malitha, yeah.
Malitha, you're going to be seeing that you are not only going to see certain things. Number one, God's bringing protection around the hips and also the feet area. This has been a season where there's been some interesting things happening around those areas of your body because God's been balancing certain things in the foundation. God's touching someone's chest. But Melitha, this is a season of where God says there's a decision that you have to make. And this decision is around your career move, because there's going to be a time that God says you're going to be the one in the family that's going to have to take care, or it's always going to fall on you. They tell you the last minute, but it's going to fall on you. And so I heard the Lord saying, be open to this when this happens, because God says you're going to be carrying someone in the family. But I also heard the Lord saying he's rewarding you. And this has to do with the property and a home.
Maybe a couple of more. Leah Marie, she's a faithful partner here. She's
Leah, I don't know why the Lord is saying this, but God said this is a season of where God says that he's giving you grace around something. And so there's something that has been a struggle in a particular season that you've had to go through, but you are going to begin to see that God says that he's bringing discipline, not only around your health, but he's also saying that this is going to be a time that you're going to be letting go of certain things that you've had to deal with and that you've had to work through. I don't know what this is about, but I keep on hearing the Lord saying, no more debt, no more debt, no more debt. Write down the amount of debt, add everything up, write it on a piece of paper, burn it, and bring and throw it the furthest away from your home, because God is clearing something that has been around debt around you that you've been dealing with. Jesus.
Oh, and I know some things, and she just revealed some things. So my goodness. Couple more, and then I don't want to hold you long. But our first 40, in the CashApp, the other sister was from PayPal, but the first one was Leslie Gardner. She said, "Thank you for hosting this live."
Thank you, Leslie. She's so precious.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie, I heard the Lord saying that this is going to be a season where God says your people skills are going to another level. You're going to be finding yourself in areas that you used to be insecure or felt almost as if that people wouldn't hear you or listen to you. God says he's anointing your tongue again, Leslie. And so this is going to be a season of communication, but also where you're going to be speaking to people in a different manner, and God's going to give you favor around this. And that is the word of the Lord. Saint James.
Okay, I am back. I am so sorry.
You vanished on me, Saint James.
Speaking of favor, I got a knock on my hotel door, and one of the people from the restaurant downstairs, they just brought me dinner.
You know what? Saint
some
dessert. Let me see what can we see what it is, Saint James?
Some dessert she brought me. I'm like,
oh God.
Okay, all right.
That looks good, Saint James.
And I was just
that looks like a lava cake. Flour.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Oh, yeah, and I was just eating dinner, and it's nice to be nice. And
well, Saint James, you're famous. You're going into these places, and they are recognizing you. They are recognizing the Saint James Show.
It's so funny because I've come across that, and people were like later on, they were like, I was checking out of my hotel in Beverly Hills, and the guy goes, "I like your show." Thank you very much.
So Saint James, you got to be watchful where you go at, because
I know. I can't.
You can't do nothing because these streets will be talking.
Absolutely nothing. Thank you so much, Kirby, for your $50. Kirby, I think Kirby Jerome Phillips for your $50 donation.
Wow, Melitha said, Jesus, 100%. Everything you said.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's Melitha. Gotcha.
That's the one that says she's not used to. She doesn't. She's not a seed sower.
She's not a seed sower. She used to not be one.
Oh. Okay.
She done forgot all that tonight. Now she's a seed sower. Yeah. Okay.
I was about to speak a word to someone, but I don't
Kirby,
know.
it was right there. Where are you at, Kirby? Thank you so much for your donation tonight.
Kirby, there's a couple things here. Number one, you are in a pruning season. And so God says, don't look at this negative, because there's certain things that God says that he's been pruning and removing for the next phase of your work that you're about to go into. But I also heard the Lord saying that this is going to be a time now that you've had to go through something with the 9 to 5, because God says you're supposed to be coming into ownership, and he's breaking a stronghold that has been in the men in the family. I don't know why I'm keep on saying this old vehicle, this old car, but this is going to be a time that God says something had to be liquidated for the expansion to come. So God says, understand that you're just creating space. It's not a downsize. And that is the word of the Lord.
Lady Dimples, don't be scared, because when you sold last time, she's so scared because it's so accurate. And
God.
The thing with prophecy, it's like you have to walk into it. The prophet reveals it, and it may not even be something that you've gone through, but it is on its way, and you have to walk through that thing, and you have to position yourself. And a lot of people are scared to do that. Yeah, so it's. I have more to a bit prophet, but I know I don't want to keep you long. I have kept you 2.5 hours. But
I have a soft spot to minister to the people.
Okay.
I that gets me every time. I love to minister to the people. There's a couple others that I want to do that 140 tonight. There's at least 10 that are supposed to be doing that 140 tonight, and they know who they are. Teresa's one of them. She's watching. There's someone else. You need to do this for your mom, Mary. Mary's your mother's name. Go ahead and get it in. I'm just feeling this by the Spirit. And there's others that need to do this to break the back of poverty that has been generational. You're going to be and some of you are going to be rewatching the show and watching it over to make sure that you learn these principles, and you get these principles so that you're able to take it to another level. James.
Sherelle Murphy sold her 140.
Sherelle, it's interesting because God says that you've been in a season of where there's been a lot of things that you've had to walk through, and there's a lot of things that you've had to push through. You've had to fight the good fight of faith, but this has also been a time that God says certain things that you've had to deal with and that you've had to work through with people. God says that he's bringing healing. Now, I don't know what this is about, but God says there is a wealth transfer that's coming to you. There's something that is owed to you that you're going to finally get the money that is due to you around this. So this is going to be a season where God says that he's reopening up a door for you. But I also heard the Lord saying no more delays. And this has to do with the family. There's something that God is bringing a healing in the family, especially around a soul tied with a loved one that they've been dealing with in their emotional status. God says, get ready. You said Sherelle, right?
Right here. There she is, right
God
there.
says, get ready, Sherelle, because God says this is going to be a season that God is bringing justice to something. Something was an injustice, and I hear the angel of the Lord saying he's bringing justice not only to the legal room or the courtroom, but also to finances that have been stolen, and that is the word of the Lord. Jesus.
Oh, wow. Lady Dimples, she tore down her fear.
Lady Dimples came through.
She said,
and I can see in her picture, she really has those dimples too.
Yeah.
I can see in that picture. And so, Lady Dimples, this is going to be a season now that God says that you're in a shifting moment. And so this is going to be a time that you're going to be finding yourself. It's almost as if God says that you've been through a period of where you've self-sacrificed yourself in relationships and it was painful. But now you're in a period, Lady Dimples, where you're going to be prioritizing yourself. This is going to be a season of healing for you, but this is also a season where you're getting your voice and you're getting your freedom back. There's something here that I see the Lord doing around the thyroid and the vocal cords. And this has been affecting the sinus area and it flares up. God says that he's bringing a detox. He's bringing a healing. And God says your voice is going to be heard and you're going to find yourself being able to communicate again and bringing healing, and cancer will not be in this bloodline any longer. And that is the Lord. Jesus.
Oh, wow. Lakeisha Chapman.
Bless you, Lakeisha. Bless you. She's precious. I know her. And Lakeisha, this is going to be a season where God says that he's turning something around for you. You've been in a period of restorative, but you've been learning how to protect your peace, Lakeisha. And so this is going to be a season that God says that he's reopening up a door. But I also heard the Lord saying that this is going to be a time now where God says that do not allow what other people will say or do to interfere with the patience that you must exercise in this season around financial matters and constraint.
Dom the Cruz.
Oh, bless you. Say the name one more time. I know.
DOM and then DACRUC.
Dominic. Yeah, Dominic.
It's Dominic. Okay.
I know. And Dom, I hear the Lord saying that this is going to be a season that God is not only giving you favor, but God says this is a season where God's doing something physically around your health. There's been some things around your digestion that you've been bringing healing to. But I also heard the Lord saying there's something that you're coming to a holistic level of learning and a holistic approach to. And as you do this, God says you're going to see some things that's not only going to work out for you, but God says you're going to see some abundance that's going to be coming around you in this season because of your patience and because of the stuff that you've had to walk through and that you've had to deal with people. And that is the word of the Lord.
I think I have a couple more and we're probably done. C-Dub, they said confirmation, family, they put in there. And it's that is Cheryl, my mentor, my choir director mentor from back in the day with Veron Ash.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember Veron Ash as a little kid.
Yeah, I know.
Come over to the house. I probably was.
Oh, there's Lakeisha right there. Oh, yeah.
Bless you, Lakeisha. Love you. Yeah. I remember. What was the name though that you just said?
Pastor Cheryl Wyndham Davis.
Pastor Cheryl, you're entering into a season where God says that no more debt, but no more death. There's been a lot of things that's been happening around you and a lot of people that life got cut short and things that you've been managing. You're entering into a season of healing, but also you're in a season where God says that something that was lost and something that you walked away from is going to come back to you in another manner. And so the Lord just say he's cleaning the slate. This is not only around your credit, but this is also around some debt and some financial things that you've had to walk through. There is something that's owed to you that God says you're going to get back. And I heard the Lord saying, whatever this betrayal or this thing that you went through with someone that you trusted, God brings healing to it, but he brings vindication as well. And that is the word of the Lord.
Whew. And I know some things. And if she won't say it, I believe you're walking on the right street there. Oh, my goodness. Two more. I'm not sure about this, but it's a young lady, Hawa, and then Fully. Hawa Fully. Not sure about. He said,
Hawa, I know Hawa. That's she's his
okay.
partner. Yes. And Hawa, I heard the Lord saying that God says that this is going to be a season where there's something that God is about to put victory in your hands with again. You're entering into a season where God says that you are not only going to see the blessings that's going to fall on you, but I also heard the Lord saying, there's something that you will be dealing or billing an insurance agency or an insurance thing around. You're about to see multi-level, and also multi-family. There's something that's going to come into your hands where people will be living there and you'll be making money from it. So God says, get ready.
Just do one more. Gwen Davis.
Oh, Gwen. Mm-hmm. Gwen, I don't know what this is about, but God says that there's something that you have been fighting or dealing with that you're going to find yourself coming into a new type of wisdom around. So this is going to be a time that God says something that you put effort in, God says finally it's going to move for you. But this has also been a season that God says that he's placing a covering around the family, especially around vehicles and car situations. And that is the word of the Lord.
And I do apologize. This is the absolute last.
You've been St. James. You've been saying that every time. It's like that preacher. It's like that preacher that says one more, and I'm about to wrap it up. I'm about to wrap it up.
Dominique Cruz, right there. Thank you, Master Prophet. I focus on fasting in major way. Right on when it great. All right. And the last one is one of my faithful partners, Candace William. That's Candace.
Candace, I don't know why I'm seeing this, but number one, God says that he's touching your eyes. So there's something that God is giving you fresh vision in and clear vision. But there's also a season where God is strengthening your discernment. And so where there has been certain things that you've had to walk through and that you've had to deal with, especially around friendships and some stuff that you've had to learn, this is going to be a time that God says you're rebalancing certain things around you. There's a shift that you're about to find yourself making. And when you make this shift, this is going to be a season of where you're going to see that there's a reason why certain people could not stay. And there's a reason why you had to make certain moves that you had to make, even with family and even with certain things that needed distance. God says this is going to be a season where God says no more delays. And something that you've been waiting on, God says the door is going to reopen. But God says you have to be okay with being the speaker and being in the forefront around this. And God says, as you do that, God says you're going to see a financial breakthrough that's going to come through it. And that is the word of the Lord.
What an amazing evening, Prophet Manasseh. I think everyone got just what they needed if they were open to change, commit to discipline. You know, there's a lot of commitments we have to do to really walk into this deal. Before you do your last statements, let's show everyone how they can connect with you one more time.
Today's going to be
And there's also one more way. Text.
I'm ready for the next caller.
Text MJ to 33339 as well. There's a couple of different ways to get in contact with Prophet Manasseh and get associated with the ministry of Prophet Manasseh. Also, prophetmanassehpraise.com. There is the website right there. What are your final words on tonight, Prophet?
I want people to understand that with this system, you do not need big money to do this. It can start with $100 a month, $50 a month. You can start where you're at. And even if you're at a point where you're saying, I can't do the life insurance, money's tight. Mm-hmm. Start at where you're at. If it's $10, but start at the level that you are at. God has given everyone a talent and ability. Whatever that is, start there and start building your wealth that way. Because what builds it is not about how much you start. It's about your consistency with the discipline of wealth building.
The consistency, the discipline of wealth building. Thank you so much, Prophet Manasseh. We will talk soon. Listen, this here tonight. At least I wish I had. He clicked off. I wish I had an honorarium to give him $200,000 just for being here tonight and sharing with us. Can I share something with y'all since he just abruptly? I think he just got kicked off. Check this out, everybody. This is just something years ago for Prophet Manasseh. They're talking about him moving into his dorm room and what it took for him to move into his dorm room. Let's look at this.
In your trunk carrier, aren't you? Yeah.
You see a trunk carrier for yourself?
You have it's a generational thing. These are people that they learn the art. It's an art. There's an art and science for everything. Just like for prophecy, for the prophetic. There's an art. That's why you have poem. There's an art for that, and the science. So there's also an art on how you handle certain things.
This is really something. So, honey, you see why your son wanted to lead the historical black college experience. He said he had 1 year of it, and that was enough, because he really wanted to express. Which website are you at, honey? Because I can see you're not here. Which one were you at?
I was looking in Amazon.
You was at what?
Yeah, the Swiss sheet.
Yeah, you still hung up on that Swiss sheet, huh? You cannot believe your son is sleeping on Swiss sheets, because you know how much you pay for your sheets. I bet you his 3 sheets could finance your entire sheet collection.
Probably so, Master Prophet.
Especially since we know he got a couple of promotions. See, if he only got 1 promotion, he would say, oh, it was just 1. The fact that he couldn't remember, we know it was more than a couple, because he would say, oh, I just got a couple. That promotion, honey, if you go to Boston right now, if you went tomorrow for Labor Day, and you walk in and says, was there a young, because there's not too many African Americans up there anyway. Was there an African American with dreadlocks? And he gets some sheets, the whole store said, oh, yes. We had to do a special delivery over there. There was about 2 or 3 people from the stores that carried his bags over there to the dorm. Now, did you have any help getting some stuff back to the dorm? I was just kidding on that, but now he said yes, he did. Some people help you carry the bag. You have to use the mic. Some people help you carry the bags back?
Yeah, they help. They help you bring the stuff back.
They help you bring the stuff back?
Set it up for you.
Who set it up? You know? They came and set up the sheets for you. They carried it for you. Talking to Mike. They can't. What you say? What you say? Don't be ashamed of your friends. What did you say? What happened?
They'll help you. They'll set it up and make sure it's right, and the bedding's right, and it fits the beds right. Also, you have to be careful because those beds are, the dorm beds are, you have to make sure that proper padding's on it because they can, have wire. It can mess up the material and stuff. Yeah.
So you had to buy padding for the bed also.
Yeah, you have to get the special padding.
Right.
Too for it, yeah.
You couldn't. Right. You can't just use the dorm mattress.
Yeah.
See, everybody slept on that. You have to have the pad first.
That can make it.
And then the special pillow, of course.
You got a special pillow. So you got a special pillow. And did you get a new mattress?
No, I didn't.
You just got a padding. So you got a padding, a pillow, and the people from Ralph Lauren came over and set it up for you.
No, these are different individuals.
These were different individuals.
Yeah.
What were they, special?
They help you. They give you people to help you set it.
Oh, this is from the Centurion. They set it up for him. They made up his bed. Prophetess Deborah, your son went to school, and American Express sent out a service to make up your beloved son's bed with organic sheets. He called them, and you got organic sheets, pillows, not pillows with buckwheat in it, pillows with organic stuff. You probably have no feathers. Is there feathers in your pillow? You don't use feathers? How come you don't use feathers in your pillow?
No, I forgot the type of pillow.
You've got that. But you had pillows, and then they came and made up his bed. And that, Prophetess Alice Jackson says, what school are you attending, young prophet? She probably wants to come and just see the setup. Tell her what school you're attending.
New England Conservatory.
New England Conservatory. This is interesting. I tell you, this is, Fish Ray's in the corner laughing. This is Prophet Deborah. You know what? We are not using the service. Pastor, let's see, can we get them to come make up our bed on Tuesday? You think they'll come make up your mother and I bed on Tuesday and measure our padding and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Do you have the number?
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the number, Pastor. You see all of this great stuff. This is great.
They say Mother has a question.
Oh, Mother Jordan has a question?
Mother Jordan has a
Yes, Mother. What?
We have organic books.
Oh, they want to know, do you have organic books? They don't have paper yet that to make the organics out of,
Oh, I thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. That was when Prophet Manasseh was young, just going into school, and he had to sit there. He had Ralph Lauren sheets. They had to, because he didn't like the setup over there at the HBCU. So he went on to another school, and they came in and set his bed up and set his dorm up, and it was hilarious. You got to see that clip. I'm going to have to put that clip probably in the description of this so you can see the entire, it's only like 10 minutes long. So you can see they started talking about his truck that he had. It's a whole thing. So we definitely understand. Prophet Manasseh, definitely. A good 17 years ago. Wow. And this is the daughter of the prophetess that was up there, Dr. Kelly, right? Yeah, so thank you for being in the chat. Thank you for being very interactive tonight in putting the things up for me. I really appreciate it. And the rest of the mods, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming through. I learned a lot myself tonight. I really did. And I hope you were able to gain some knowledge and not just cut it off and turn it off. Listen, the principles in the Bible are good. Malachi 3:8, given it shall be given unto you. That scripture as well. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. That is good. And that is wonderful. But we have to have it to give. Okay? We have to have it to give. And a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, and then the shutdown comes, and now you don't understand where your money is going to come from. They turned off the SNAP benefits. Why are we even on SNAP? Should we even be on it? Should we be, as believers, should we be having a plan for our lives and for our families' lives that we wouldn't have to be so dependent upon the government? And I'm not one of those people that says, don't use the government help, but I think all those things are a temporary, or should be a temporary fix for setting up your eternal plan for your family and for your generational wealth. So I hope that everybody got something out of it. Sean said we need to know what to do after the window opens. Right. Jesse says he's teaching what we learned in my senior level finance classes for free. Come on now. Yeah. He said, I did too. That's what probably blessings. Yes. I think we learned a lot of good things. Like I said, me being friends, newly friends with Manasseh, and I've definitely appreciated even some of the talks we've had. And they're always good talks as, what you eat today, or what how's that stock doing, or how's that going? What are you doing? How's the real estate market going? Got any houses on the market? You selling? So I love questions like that because they're always keeping me on my toes, making sure that I'm navigating in the right way. Again, your faith leader, Church God in Christ, is going to Memphis on Monday. They'll be there for 2 weeks. They're going to pay for all those rooms. They're going to pay for all those gaudy clothes, and they're going to give a lot of offerings. Yes, they are. But what will be taught to make sure when the people go home that they can sustain themselves and sustain their children and their children's children? That's what we got to focus on, y'all. That is exactly what we have to focus on. Definitely, Jacqueline says, definitely an awesome show. The follow-ups will be interesting. Listen, I don't know how you can get anything bad off of what we had tonight, but there's people that are anointed to do it. All right. Pulling the financial plan through work because it means. Oh, Mental Vibe says, I literally just scheduled an appointment with a financial planner through work because of this interview. Thank you, St. James. You know what? That's what I want to do. That's what I want to push people into doing something better for yourselves. So I'm so glad to hear that, Mental Vibe. Listen, there's jobs that have, what is that? What is that we have? Anyway, where you can get legal advice, you can get free legal advice, free, you can deal with any kind of area that you're dealing with. If you need a psychologist, psychiatrist, legal advice, and I'm sure there's financial planning. There's that program at my job. What is it? I've been SP, something SP. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, where they give you some direction and some guidance to some professionals that can assist you. I'm sure they have financial planners as well. So take advantage of free stuff that even comes through your job. What's up, Courtney? Yeah, is it EPA? Yeah, I forget what it stands for, though. But definitely take advantage of it. Yep. All right, everybody. I have to go. I have to meet up with, I'm still in Seattle. So I said I'm going to meet up with some folks, some content creators that I am here with. So I'm going to definitely, all of you who donated to the platform, on the word of faith that that things have been broken tonight, if it was generational curses or just bad habits that we've had, just bad habits, and that we're going to push and do better and do more for yourselves and to have a better, an abundant life. SCORE has a chapter in every state. You can get professional advice. It's a SCORE as well. Okay, I know that I think EPA. I think it is EPA. I can't think of what we have. I really can't, but we'll get there. When I think of it, y'all know, deal with your jobs. Deal with your jobs. But anyway, for those who, thank you so much for gifting those gifts, Tarsha Global. Make sure you guys are tuning into Tarsha Global. She does wonderful work over there on YouTube as well. So give her a click, view, and a subscription. All right. Thank you, Mel C. Truth. Appreciate your donation. Sean Talks. Thank you so much. Tanisha, appreciate you. Blackwell, thank you for donating and gifting a membership to our exclusive YouTube. Thank you so much. And Desiree, Miss Dior, thank you so much. And of course, our own Manasseh Jordan, thank you, sir, for your generous donation. And you as well, Cortez Hopkins, Snacks Reviews. I have to go over there and see what you're doing over there on your channel. Sean Nathan, thank you so much, sir, for all your continued support. Kiwi, Jerome Phillips, it's either Kiwi or Kevy, something like that. But thank you so much for your support as well and listening to the word of the prophet today. Thank you again, My See Truth, for your other donation. And Lady Dimples. You know, Lady Dimples is a good supporter of the St. James Show. And, you know, she's a lot now. She's a whole lot. But when the rubber meets the road, she good people. So I appreciate you, Lady Dimples, and I hope the word of the Lord was right on time for you, as it usually is. Okay. Why is that still going up? You don't want to get off the screen. You don't want to get off the screen. You don't get off the screen. Okay, I got off the screen that time. All right, EAP. There it is. EAP. Thank you, the residents. That's what it is. EAP. I couldn't think, an employment assistance program. Thank you. And again, use those programs at your job. You know, there's a certain amount. I used the program back in the day when I needed an attorney. And they shifted me to a good attorney, and they give you a certain amount of time for free. And if you take them on, then of course that's another, they'll discuss that with you. But even when it comes to financial planner, listen, whatever you heard tonight, if you have questions on it, if I'm over the fence or something like that, make sure you back it all up with going to the proper financial planning person or an accountant or someone like that, so you can get it all in perspective. Things that the spiritual, and then there's the natural, and then reality. We have this reality thing. So listen, when you get to that speculative type of that number 5, that's real deep, good spiritual stuff, where you're seeing stuff through dreams and we've all been there, because I know I've had some dreams, and then I should have done something and I didn't do it. I said, oh my goodness, God was actually revealing something to me that I really thought I just ate a little beans, a little carne asada with a little a salsa at night, and maybe it just upset me and my mind went crazy. But in all actuality, it was something that God was trying to reveal to me. Y'all still giving. Thank you so much. And I will respond to each and every one of you. All right. Yellow hearts up in the chat for me. Put those yellow hearts in the chat. And we will get out of here. Hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Okay, tomorrow's Sunday, right? Okay. So I'll get my church fix on tomorrow. So I can go to West Angeles. I'm going to go to Perfecting Church. Hopefully he ain't asked for no money tomorrow. Somebody go call Marvin Winans and tell him to call Prophet Manasseh so he can get on a more of a financial plan for himself and Perfecting Church. I think Manasseh can get them straight over there. Really, though. I really think he could. But so we're going to do some church hopping tomorrow and have a good old time. I'm not sure. I'm leaving Seattle tomorrow evening, so I won't get into my city until late. So I doubt you will see me. Maybe I'll pop in at one of the airports at the airport or something before I leave. But I probably won't even have time for that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what will happen. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful evening. We are getting out of here. And of course, we always talk about him, but we sure love some singing. God bless you, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday and Sunday morning.
He said, behold, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And I want you to believe this song. It said, you removed every one of my doubts. You never left me alone. Every time you brought me out, Lord, you never left me alone. When I was down to my very last, you never left me alone. You gave me more than I could ever ask. You never left me alone. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. I just like this song. No, 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 never. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. Oh, no, 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 never. You never left me. You never left me alone. When my heart was overwhelmed, Lord, you never left me alone. When I felt like I had failed, Lord, you never left me alone. When you didn't know who I could tell, I ran to you. Never left me alone. And like always, you made it well, Lord, you never left me alone. Help me say never. No, no, no. Never. No, no. No, 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 never. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. You never left me. You never left me alone. I've seen some things. Tell them I've seen the lightning. I've seen the lightning flashing. And I heard the thunder roll. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. No, no, no. No, 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 never. Lord have mercy. No, 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 never. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. You never left me. You never left me alone. You know friends will come and go, but Lord, you never left me alone. You're the place that I can go, cause you never left me alone. You're my peace in sleepless nights, Lord, you never left me alone. And because of you, I know I'm gonna be alright, cause you never left me alone. Say no, 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 no. No, 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 never. Help me say no, no. No, never. No, 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 no. No, never. Oh, no. No, 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 never. You never left me. You never left me alone. I felt sin's breaker. I felt sin's breaker. Catching, trying to conquer my soul. Trying to conquer my soul. You never left me, no. No, 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 never. No, 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 never. No, 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 never. No, 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 never. Even when I'm in trouble. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. When I felt by myself. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. No, 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 no. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. I'm happy about it. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. Time gets dark. No, 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 never. Time gets thin. No, 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 never. Friends walk out. No, 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 never. But you step in. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, no, never. You never left me. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, no, never. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Never. Never. No, no. No, 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 never. No, no, no. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. You never left me. I might have been a friend. No, 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 never. Oh, yeah, never. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. You never left me. No, 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 never. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.